To the right side, he's just freaking out. He's like just smiling real big because he knows what he's pulled off on the LAN environment. And again, reminder, the past few, he's not been with his proper teammates, so I really appreciate getting to see that side of the players.
Yeah, 100%. I also love to see the side where Mustache is pretty cool, calm, and collected, right? He was talking about it during that interview right there. Hey, listen, you know, we're very, very aware of the fact that the best chance to kind of come from us would be in the early game. If other teams want to win, that's when they're going to come. Of course, they're thinking about that. It sounds like they're prepared.
Yeah, remember, Mustache hasn't been in this position.
He must have live voice.
Crazy performance from Mustache on land, so he hasn't actually been in a position of dominance after day one. So I
think
previously he would have been in the shoes of the team.
Νομίζω είμαστε live.
Brand new position. I think he's carrying himself really well through that pressure as well, doing great with the
ωραία, ωραία.
well, not letting it affect him.
Μου μπάγκαραν όλα μαλάκες. Γαμώ.
Man, of course, we just gotta stay the course. Let's keep pushing forward. Don't change up anything, right? Let's talk about the trio in second place. Obviously, a big crowd favorite, Vanya. I mean, we heard him anytime he was on screen. You can hear it right now. Marius, Pixie as well.
Καλησπέρα σε όλο το chat, τι κάνουμε?
Shout out to the M8, of course. These guys are sitting so good right now. Of course, coming in, having time to prepare things. I'm excited to see what they might change up for day number 2.
Yeah, I mean, I was really impressed with their day one performance.
Μαλάκες, πού είναι το...
The way that they played. I think if you've been watching a lot of EU this season or this year,
Το κουστούμι πού το βάλα στον κόλλο μου?
They like to try and go for height, but they've sort of adapted in this global challenge. They haven't been trying to W key height. They know that Queasy is going to be up there. We just broke it down. We know how good they are at holding that position. So they're very adaptable. They have two of the best strikers in the region on this team as well, led by Vanya. So it's a team that has it all, and I think if there's any team that could overtake.
Τι ωραίο το kick ρε μαλάκες. Έχω και το kick τώρα εδώ πέρα το chat μπροστά μου, μαλάκα να τα βλέπω όλα. By the way, chat, όποιος θέλει μπορεί να πάει να βλέπει από το kick. Όσοι θέλετε να το βλέπετε από το YouTube κομπλέ.
Loves to call it the meta within the meta, right? Kind of bringing that to the global stage, because if you are an EU team versus an EU team, you kind of are used to how this is going to go. So that might be something to look at, right? They may be like, hey, we're kind of used to.
Πίσω θα κάνει comeback ο Peter σήμερα. Πολύ δύσκολο chat. Α, εδώ είναι ρε μαλάκες, είπα και εγώ. My fucking custom. Έλα Κακρή, what's up?
They even seem very, very comfortable in that position as well.
I was speaking to Marius a little bit before as well. Of course, his first land, so you know, how's he feeling, all that sort of stuff before today. And he was saying, I don't think we can catch up Queasy, but we can give it a good go. Right? They're going to try their very best, but he's not so confident in the fact in the first place. But for them, I think it's just about continuing doing what they can do, let them do their thing, see what happens.
Έλα κλανιά Τσίτο, καλησπέρα. Πού είσαι έτσι λάνθρωπε? YouTube και kick μαζί all day. Όχι ρε.
Highlight reels all the way around, but you know, obviously the end game is very, very important. So is the early game. Something
they
keep in the back of their minds. This is where Peterbot's trio.
Δεν θα το γυρνάει ο Peterbot, μάγκες δεν ξέρω. Είναι πάρα πολύ δύσκολο ο Peterbot ρε φίλε, αντικειμενικά. Θα να πας μια story.
And then, you know, Peterbot called a ritual. They end up leaving. So they were meant to be contested all 5 games yesterday, but because of how things are kind of going for Cold Ritual and Peterbot spawn, they actually decided to come one game. Something to potentially think about today as well.
Yeah, for sure, but it was very important that Vanya's team actually managed to win that off-spawn fight. I think if they went down there, things would look a lot differently for them throughout the rest of the day. But I mean, we can see it right here, the way they're able to play that sort of low ground section. We've seen them with that minigun as well be so valuable for them. And like you just mentioned, Vivid, Marius.
Μαλάκες θέλω καινούριο κινητό, οπωσδήποτε, bro.
Yeah, I mean, obviously doing very, very well. I love the they end up implementing, because it's like every single one of their games is very, very similar. They throw a launch pad down in the middle of their POI. They go land in the middle of 4th zone, so they're pretty much guaranteed to pull 5th, and then they just do the classic within the meta.
Τσατάρα μου, όσοι μπαίνετε θέλω να κάνετε like, όσοι μπαίνετε πραγματικά θέλω να κάνετε like, να το σπάσετε. Πού είσαι ρε Μπίλος? Καλησπέρα, ήθελα notification και με τα 2 apps ταυτόχρονα. Let's go Γιάννης. Let's get it. Prediction για το ποιος νικάει. Μάγκες, αντικειμενικά αν δεν φάει γκρίφο Queasy, νομίζω είναι all the way Queasy.
The problem is, Queasy and Mistake this weekend, they're kind of opposites, right? We haven't really seen that happen from that team. So, you know, I think
αν κάνει ο Peterbot comeback θα είναι το μεγαλύτερο comeback. Αδερφέ, νομίζω πως για να κάνει comeback ο Peterbot πρέπει να νικήσει με να πάρει ένα 20 kill win, δύο 20 kill win θέλει και ο Queasy να πεθάνει early.
Maybe they'll have to go on over there, maybe third party them land nearby.
Αρχηγέ, καλησπέρα, πιστεύω καλύτερα εδώ. Άρε, left. Όντως. Αλλά εντάξει. Σιγά σιγά. Ζάλο δεν πειράζει ρε, Klein.
How do you have so much aura?
I mean, it's just M8 fans. It's not me.
I think it may be a bit of both. Let's talk about the game you're playing at the moment.
Where's
Second
Banyak?
on the leaderboard. A win is possible at the end of today. But the game that you're playing is one I don't associate with you with. The low ground. Tell me how you've started to adapt things.
I mean, we tried to take a ground 2 games, and it's not worked for us. So we just played from low ground.
Πού σε Ρούμελ, τι κάνουμε, brother μου, ευχαριστούμε για το δίπαλο. Τσατάρα μου, θέλω να κάνετε όλοι like όσο μπαίνετε. Όλοι like, όλοι like. Όλοι like, boys. Μπορείς να βάλεις bet ποιος θα το πάρει. Μάγκες το αλλάξανε, να ξέρετε. Βάλανε bet όποιος πάρει wins κάθε game. Οπότε νομίζω πως δεν είναι καν worth να παίξεις. Γιατί είναι τελείως random ass game, ρε. Το άλλαξαν πάλι. Πρέπει να βρω κουμπί για το τέτοιο, μαλάκα. Έλα. Έλα, έλα.
Τσίλι τώρα.
Ωραία, ωραία. Βάλε μου τέτοιο. Άκουσέ με. Θα μου βάλεις λεφτά, θα στα στείλω. Λοιπόν. Team Queasy.
Αυτό είναι για το πρώτο game,
Ναι, Team Queasy.
Το πάω και εγώ κάμπε.
Team... όχι, Παναγία. Team Canada. Βασικά, όχι, μην το ακούμε. Όχι, βγάλ' το. Βάλε σέτι.
Σέτι,
Και βάλε και... Βάλε πόγιο, πεθαίνει early ο Wingo. Πω, Πίτερ Μποτβίνο, Παναγία, κάτσε, περίμενε. Δεν ξέρω τι θα μαγειρέψει ο άλλος ο πουτανάς. Σας το έτσι, μπρο, βάλε μου ένα δεκάρικο. Σε αυτό. Ναι. Και θα παίξω μετά με αυτά, στο δεύτερο game.
Maybe if Queasy has a bad game, goes down early, they have to make that game count. And I think that's going to be the most crucial thing for them, is when Queasy's not lower, they're not getting points.
Ένα δεκαρικάκι και είμαστε καλά, νομίζω.
Να φτάρω, μαλάκα.
Γιατί ακούω 3. Ακούω και το circle του κάμπε. Να μω το σπίτι.
Oh my gosh, could I be more excited? Of course, I'm upset there's no NA in the top 3, but it's fine, don't worry about it.
Τι άρχισε ήδη.
The trio looking very, very strong right now.
Ρε, το ποντίκι μου κάνει κλικς και μου πετάει νέο tab. Τι κάνω, bro? Έχει μπαγκάρει. Τι θέλει, restart? Τι έχει bet στα finals, ναι, Ρούμελ. Bet 365.
Ρούμελ.
Πας καθόλου από το περίπτερο. Μπίλο μου, πολύ σπάνια τώρα, μπρο. Βασικά, πάω ρε, αλλά πρωινά. Είναι μια κυρία. New mouse, μαγκές, βοήθεια, δείτε εδώ. Βλέπετε, πατάω εδώ και μου πετάει νέο τέτοιο. Ξέρει κανείς πισάκιας τι κάνουνε. Δες εδώ. Τι κουμπί πατάω για να φύγει αυτή η πίπα.
Μια χαρά είσαι ρε. Πατάω τη ροδέλα. Δεν πατάω τη ροδέλα.
Now guys, of course, there's a little bit of an asterisk, right? These guys are contested. Now, it seems like it's working out so far, but if something were to kind of go in the opposite direction, it could spell disaster for the trio. I feel like, based on what we've seen, that shouldn't be the case.
You know, I'm happy that you kind of talk about them being contested, because, you know, me and
δεν πατάω τη ροδέλα ρε μαλακανά, είναι μπαγκαρισμένο.
It's very, very hard for us to catch everything that kind of happens in the other games, because there's so much going on.
Άρα χάλασε η ροδέλα μου, ωραία. Χίνω. Άρα χάλασε η ροδέλα μου, χίνω. Μου έβαλες κάμπε μπε.
Περίμενε bro, γιατί είναι από αφού.
Yeah, it's tough for them now. It's tough for Seti's team, right? Because of course Tinker's team, they were landing there a few times, then they decided to go elsewhere, and it wasn't like 3 games on, 3 games off. It was sort of sprinkled around, right? They were going in different drops.
Δεν έχεις bet εσύ.
Όχι ρε μαλάκα, άμα είχα θα παίζα μόνος μου. Και τώρα μέχρι να κάνω θα είναι... Απλά βάλε σε ό,τι, όχι σε ό,τι παίζεις. Θα παίζουμε κάθε πριν το game, αν το νικήσουμε αυτό, θα βάλεις τα λεφτά τα κερδισμένα μου. Αν κερδίσω, αν δεν κερδίσω, σου χρωστάω 10. Και κράτα και ένα δεκάρικο, φάση θα έχω 30 ευρώ εγώ.
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing super, super well, and like Minnie mentioned, you know, of course, being contested, it was
Έχω
only
παίξει άλλο,
every of the
αυτό
games
10
that
δικά
they, of
σου.
course, win
Ναι,
every
αυτό σου λέω.
single time. It
Απλά σου λέω ότι
absolutely
σου χρωστάω 10
doesn't
και αν νικήσω παίρνεις από τα 40 που θα νικήσω 30. Τα 10, sorry. 30 είναι δικά μου.
Regardless of how the game kind of goes to them, right? They're contested, they do the same thing. They're uncontested, they do the same thing. The zone, the storm is covering Kappa Kappa Factory very, very
Για να μου ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ, bro.
It just doesn't matter.
Τσίλης Ζωγαδόρος, μάγκες δεν είναι καν τζόκος αυτό, bro. Για πες. Μου το συλλες. Θα τα σε μισή ώρα έχουμε επόμενα game. Ωραία, το είδα. Ωραία.
Έχω κόντρα παίξει bro.
Τι, έβαλες πίξη να νικήσει.
Έχω παίξει Βίνο, Πόλο, πίξη, Σέτι.
Βίνο, Πόλο, πίξη, Σέτι. Ο Σέτι είναι contested, απλά έχει νικήσει 6 στα 6, να ξέρεις. Από κάτι πάκι, νομίζω. Team Πόλο.
Είναι δεύτερο, δεν χάνει.
This is first time on this stage, so big role for a player of that caliber. We know how good he is. He sort of burst onto the scene at the beginning of the year and is doing very well on LAN as well.
Logitech πρέπει να κάνει step up σε αυτή τη στιγμή για mouse, ισχύει bro. Γιατί μου στο YouTube δεν γίνεται bro.
Σέτι δεν πήρε winner.
Όχι.
Ούτε demo σου
Όχι ούτε. Πού σε έλεγε κάκχανε, τι κάνουμε. Που το έχουνε bet, δεν είναι στα eSports. Fanbar, είναι ρε. Είναι Fanbar. Highlights είναι αυτά, ναι, σε μισή ώρα ξεκινάει το 7ο Game Boys.
Μαλάκα από κάτω. Έχει και most kills μαλάκα. Βλέπετε.
Πού στο game,
Ναι, round 7 most kills. Ναι, δες.
Στείλτε μου screenshot, δεν μπορώ να πάω τα alt tabs γιατί έχει μπαγκάρει το mouse μου.
Ποιος έχει?
Έχει Team Canada, Team Dimus.
Έχει εδώ τα ίδια έχει ρε.
Team Canada, Team
Έχει Vino Clicks.
Κάτσε. Έχει τα πιο πολλά kills σε τέτοιο, σε
μονομαχίες.
OMG.
Σε game ρε, σε game.
Perfect, ναι, perfect. Για να μου, God bless brother μου. Ωραία. Team Pixie, Team Seti, οκ. Περίμενε, άλλο.
Team Peterbot.
Ναι.
Team Quizy, Team Φρεντόξη.
Quiz.
Team Clicks.
Δύσκολο αυτό.
Team Canada, Team Clicks είπες.
Team Vino, Team Clicks.
Ωραία, Clicks.
Ναι, 2-20 είναι ο Clicks.
Ωραία, Clicks.
Ο Vino όμως έχει contest, άμα πάρει contest και έχει 3 kills ήδη, GG σε βέβαια.
Είναι grift το contest. Ωραία. Λοιπόν, θα το παίξουμε μετά, bro. Ηρέμησε. Μετά το επόμενο game. Έχουμε παίξει ήδη το ένα μας. Μια χαρά, ήρεμα.
So, at the end of today, are you going to be lifting that trophy?
Hopefully.
Well, we will see. Let's head back to the desk.
Try to keep things calm, cool.
Μισή ώρα ακόμα,
I'm just treating this like every other final. That's a great mindset, right? Because things again, we continue to.
Τίποτα, bro μου, έχω ακόμα 2 να κάνω. Να δούμε τους τυχερούς. Let's go, Γιάννης. Supporting this bitch. Let's go. My goat. Τσατάρα μου, όσοι είστε μέσα, είστε 232 άτομα στο YouTube, θέλω να κάνετε όλοι like αυτή τη στιγμή που μιλάμε, να φτάσουμε 300 likes, ok?
So I think
Πολύ
that definitely
σημαντικό.
has a part to play now.
Στο
I mean,
kick πόσα είμαστε,
they did
boys?
very well in the first day of that. Now coming into today, third place, looking good for them. That experience is going to be so
103, μια χαρά, χύνω.
in front of a crowd like
Σιγά,
this.
σιγά.
Man, I know he says it's the same.
Ανεβάσουμε και το
It's
κικάκι.
not the same. It's never going to be the same.
I'm
But
like,
it's good to have that mindset,
yeah,
right?
I'm like thinking to myself, that's gotta be a lie, right? There's no way he feels the exact
No,
same way
it's
about
Γιατί
that.
ο Πιτ τόσο χάλια, είναι triple con και δεν έχει καλό πλάνο. Δεν του
We're
βγήκε.
last minute trio that kind of formed, right? We kind of tee up globals. We're like, hey, listen, some of these trios, they've been playing together all year. They're going to be so experienced. They're going to be used to playing together. And then a team that kind of forms in the last second, right?
Κάτσα βάλω και...
Buzzard beater ends up doing this well, man. It's just awesome to see.
To think this is one of these three
είναι μες στο
trios
γκολ και
could
γράφει,
be
είναι άρρωστος.
global champions, right? They are fighting
Yeah.
right now, tooth and nail. I'm
Ούτε
almost
μας
curious,
σέντε,
right?
θα
Is day
παίξουμε
2, is this
Εγώ θα
pressure
παίξω μαζί
anymore?
του.
Are they feeling the stress of like, okay, everyone is looking at
Εγώ
us.
εγώ θα
Is that
παίξω
gonna
μαζί του
slow
και όχι
them
με
down?
τον ζαβλόπατο χοντρόουτ.
Γιατί πες αυτό τώρα, bro?
Μια
Μια χαρά δεν παίξαμε σαν του.
Ναι, όντως.
Με τον
PNG,
Άγγελο.
ευχαριστώ πολύ για το 1 ευρώ, bro.
Είσαι παράπονο.
Oh man.
Πήγα να πω κάτι άσχημο, bro, και ξέχασα
Especially
τους
on
τρεμάρες
this
του.
crowd, Vivid. We've
Στο
got Frankie
YouTube.
standing by. Why don't we hear from this crowd right now?
Est-ce que Lyon, vous pouvez vous mettre debout?
Όντως, Κακχανέ, φτιάξε ένα prediction, bro. Quizy το 5 ή
On
όχι.
va faire un maximum de bruit.
Ναι, τι ερώτησα.
On est bientôt à l'ouverture de la
All in,
première
Sona.
partie. It's almost the beginning of the first games.
This is why I love this crowd. You ask them nicely to do something, and they do it. And
George,
they
θα
look
δούμε, bro.
so good as they do. Should we test their
Ο Κάμπε
voices
γιατί έχει
now?
Tiffany.
Oh oui, est-ce qu'on peut tester votre voix parce qu'elle
Πρέπει
trouve
να
que vous êtes
συνεχιστεί
très
το beat.
énergique. Est-ce qu'on peut prouver au monde entier qu'on a
Καλά,
la
γάμες.
meilleure communauté
Χοντρέ,
française au
κοντό,
monde?
χοντρέ.
Faites
Ο Τσίλης μου έδωσε την άδεια.
bruit!
Τότε.
I love it. Okay then.
Τσίλη μου επιτρέψει να βρίσω τον άχρηστο, τον κοντό που είναι πολύ άχρηστο στο Warzone.
Ρε φίλε, αυτά είναι μεταξύ σας, καταλαβαίνεις τι εννοώ.
Ναι, αλλά είναι άχρηστος, εσένα σε κοστάρει όταν παίζετε. Καταλαβαίνεις.
Οκ.
Για τον Φάτλο δεν συζητάω καν, ναι. Εντάξει, ο τύπος δεν βλέπει στο μισό μέτρο.
Οκ.
Λογικό,
Et alors,
Παίξαμε και kills. Πότε εδώ, έπαιξα.
Αλλά εσύ
Το
βουλεύεις.
έπαιξες, είσαι άρρωστος.
Έπαιξα Σέτι, Peterbot, Φρεντόξι και Βίνο. Όλα τα contest θα κερδίσουμε σήμερα.
Είσαι cooked,
Ποιος,
Όλα
ρε?
τα contest.
Ποιος?
Ναι, με το-
Κόνταρα σε όλα τα contest.
Με το Φρεντόξ είσαι λίγο cooked, αδερφέ.
Γιατί θα χάσετε τον Tyson ομάδα.
Έχει χάσει 3 φορές ήδη.
Δεν θα χάσω, ποιο δεν γίνει.
Κάμπε είναι 50 red offs, man. Όποιος το πάρε.
Γι' αυτό έχει και 2-20, γι' αυτό ποντάρουμε. Άμα δεν ήταν αυτό δεν θα δίνει 2-20.
Είσαι τσιτσιφιόγκος κάπου, μην μιλάς καν.
Άντσα.
Τι λες ρε πατσάβουρη.
25 λεπτά για το πρώτο game, Άρα, πώς.
Ω, Φιζίκ, για τη νέα ομάδα, γυμναστική. Να σου πω ποια φανέλα θα μπει εκεί τρίτη τώρα. Τι είπες?
Η μάνα σου είπε, η μάνα σου.
Θες να-
Η μάνα σου είπε.
Άλλος άρχινα με τη βάλει, ρε.
Αδερφέ, να σου πω κάτι εγώ, να το θυμάσαι πολύ καλά αυτό που σου λέω. Σου μίλησα πολύ όμορφα τώρα. Σου μίλησα πολύ όμορφα. Και σε
Έχω
δείχνω
παίξει,
με το
για να δω.
δάχτυλο αυτή τη στιγμή. Δεν είναι τρόπος να προσεγγίσεις άνθρωπο έτσι.
Team Seti, Team Poggio. Παίζει να
Τα
κάνει
έχει
και μαλακία, αλλά θα δούμε.
Με το Σέτι και το Πόγιο.
Με τον Poggio.
Πω πω
Με το
κάμερα, ξέρεις.
Φρεντόξι.
Θέλω να πεθάνει οπωσδήποτε κοντέ στο Φρεντόξ.
Κάπου είσαι
Εγώ
σαν
όμως δεν
παιδί που
θέλω.
δεν έχει νερό να πιει ρε, και δεν μπορεί να πάει
Βασικά
στο
όχι και
λίγο.
εγώ θέλω. Δίστανται αυτά που έχω παίξει. Δεν πειράζει.
Άλλος έχει
Ρε
τρελαθεί.
φίλε, ξέρεις τι, ο Πόγιο σίγουρα δεν θα χάσει contest. Οπότε καλύτερα να
Μα δεν έχει
κερδίσει.
contest.
Ναι, το ξέρω, γι' αυτό λέω ότι σίγουρα δεν θα χάσει. Οπότε καλύτερα να κερδίσει ο Φρεντόξ το contest, να πιάσουμε τα kills, τα 3 τα κιλάκια τα εύκολα. Ο Quizy για να πάρει kill πρέπει να φτάσει 8ο τέτοιο.
Όχι, ρε, παίρνουν kill.
Πού παίρνει kill ο Quizy, μαμά.
Αλλά και είχαν πατήσει double και δεύτερο game, ρε, και πήραν 13 kill. Τι λες?
Δεν πατάνε τα kill.
they can still do good. They can still pop off. And
Τέλος, αυτό δεν το μιλή
I
πάψα.
spoke to Acorn at the hotel actually before.
Κάποιος by the way σε κράζει στα DMs μου. Λέει δεν έχεις ομάδα, είσαι σχιζοφρενής.
Αδερφέ, είσαι σαν τρελός, αδερφέ. Είναι λες και έχεις πάθει παράνοια, είσαι, αδερφέ.
Πρέσαι να έχω.
Ρε μπρο μου, αλήθεια, εγώ το λέω για σένα. Θέλω τον παλιό κάμπε πίσω.
Απλά περνάμε λίγο το χρόνο μας τώρα. Λίγο να έτσι να χαζέψουμε. Να έχει λίγο νόημα να βλέπουμε τα globals. Καθυστερημένα.
Καθυστερημένος είναι αυτός που σε έβγαλε, αδερφέ. Σίγουρα. Που σε έφτιασε. Γιατί το έκανες αυτό τώρα? Καλά, κάμπε να ξέρεις, έτσι όπως είσαι, σίγουρα έχει βγει από κόλλο τρυπίδι.
I think I'm in like 8 or something, bro. I don't even know.
Γιατί γελάς?
I'm just gonna have to land on Queasy, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It made on bottom, bro. It's over like.
Okay, so this is our game plan for NAC to come back today. I'm gonna win every single game today. 20 kills minimum. What are you gonna do?
We're gonna try to get the least amount of points.
Σε μένα τα λες αυτά, ρε ηλίθεια, άσχημα.
Ναι, γιατί μπαίνεις μια φορά το μήνα.
I'm gonna try to
Λες
win
ποιος σου
every.
ξαναμπαίνεις
Μια φορά το
πάλι
μήνα για να σου υπενθυμίσω ότι εδώ αυτή τη στιγμή, σε αυτό το σερβερ, εσύ είσαι η πουτάνα μας, έχεις πάρει τη θέση του Monster.
That's not
Κατάλαβες.
awesome, bro.
Σε αυτό το σερβερ έχουμε πάντα μια πουτάνα. Και από τότε που έφυγε ο Monster, έχεις μπει εσύ, ρε αδερφέ. Είσαι στυλά που ό,τι και να γίνει φταίς εσύ και σε χαστοκίζουμε. Κατάλαβες. Δεν έχεις αντίδραση, γιατί είναι αλήθεια, ρε αδερφέ.
Γιατί τα λες και γελάς μόνος σου?
Γιατί, ρε αδερφέ, γελάω με το φίλο μου που συμφωνεί ότι είναι αλήθεια αυτό. Κατάλαβες. Είσαι η πουτάνα μας, δηλαδή σε κοιτάω και σου δίνω σφαλιάρα, ρε, και σου λέω φύγε από εδώ. Σκύλα ούτε να τον δεις.
I mean, hey, listen, you talked about rallying the troops. We did get them all together, surprisingly, right? A little bit of a round table right there. I don't know if that was very productive, though. Yeah, what did we get out of that? We got Kanada's single and Higa.
Ο Κάχανος λέει ότι σε μογκάρει ο Κάμπε πάντως, Ζεν.
Πάντα έτσι κάνει, ρε μαλάκα, και μετά όταν ήρθε ο Ξαναδοπλοκάς τον έκανε όπα. Τώρα μου και έκατσε και πίσω σαν μωράκι, δεν κορδόν. Ο Ζανάκος, που το παίζει μάτι.
Έρχομαι.
Ποιος έκατσε πίσω, Μπόμπιρα? Ποιος έκατσε πίσω?
Μία φορά έκατσα πίσω.
Σε τραμπούκησε.
Ποιος, ρε?
Το ψαροντού.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a classic NA strategy, mini minor. Don't worry about it. It's our strategy to get in the minds of the EU folk and kind of like convince them that we're not going to do anything. You know, everything's fine. We're going to lose the game.
Κάνεις το 13.
And working well so far. Yeah, exactly. That's
Γιατί να δεις που κάνεις
all
μπαν.
part of the plan.
Μια ωρίτσα να ηρεμήσεις. Βασικά,
I know what time it
Τρεις
is.
ώρες.
You guys want to
Βασικά,
start being the players.
5
We need to get
ωρίτσες
them
για να
on
χάσεις τα
stage. Get
γλώπες.
them on that battle bus so we can kick off the competition. So, Leon, give it up for your players.
Τι είναι το μογκάρι? Τι είναι αυτό που είναι ελληνικά?
Welcome back to Tayson, Chicho, and Adrian.
Είναι πιο όμορφος από σένα, πιο ωραίος.
But if they make it off spawn, a victory royale is definitely in their sights.
It's Curly Cooper
Για να δούμε.
Day one wasn't what anyone expected from them, but now a new day, they have a chance to prove they belong here.
Dropping in hot, it's Kingo, Striker, and Canoe. With 2 top 5 finishes yesterday, it's clear they can hang with the best. But now it's time to be
Πώς θα ανοίξουμε και το σεντόνι? Τώρα που είναι η ώρα, ήρθε η ώρα.
Απλώσέ το σεντόνι, κάπε.
Θα το απλώνω, το κουνάμε.
But now it's time to earn that trophy.
Leon, you have to get loud for Victor V, Paper, and Epic Whale. It's a new day, but these guys are looking to bring the same determination
Μας καλά, bro.
in the race to the top.
Ναι, ρε, αφού καθυστερημένο.
All the way from Brazil, Gabzetta, Way, and Scarpa. When they get knocked down, they pick themselves up and dust themselves off.
Εδώ αυτό έπρεπε να έχεις πίσω, ρε μαλάκα.
Incoming.
Δεν μου το στείλες.
Game 1 winners from day 1. It's Kanata, Rapid, and Bolts. We saw them pop off both in and out of the game, and now it's time to run
Αδερφέ
it
τον
right
Άντο λέει να δες τι συζητηράει.
Δες τώρα που θα μπει ο Σέτ, δες τώρα που θα μπει ο Σέτ.
Setting Yapko and Panzer from new team on the block to
They knew it'd never be easy, but Valor, Mansoor, and Adapter have their work cut out for them. Let's see how they fare here in day 2.
The Wonder from Down Under, Anand, Alex, and Razai's, with an entire region supporting them. We will look at these guys to climb up the ladder all day long.
Despite a tough opening, Pollo
Πάει να ρίξει χλεπίδι ρε.
Γι' αυτό
Έλα ρε μάλακα, βάλω mute.
Μάλακα είσαι χαμένος, εγώ σου είπα. Ότι εδώ είναι η πουτάνα μας. Ο Ξανθοπάμπουρας.
First of all, please, Leon, can you show some appreciation for Havoc Pigs?
Τρελός λεγγένης ο Ζεν Μπίντο.
Oh, come on, Havoc fans. I know you can be louder than that.
Αυτοί οι δύο πουτάνας είναι σε ίδιο κόλλο ρε. Ποιοι είναι αυτοί οι δύο.
Okay, I'm going to come over now
Έτσι
to
είναι.
Leon and Demas because you're currently in 4th on the leaderboard. You are uncontested, I should say. Do you think that's the reason why you're doing so well?
Yeah, probably. When we are uncontested, we can play the best as we can.
Yes, and I wonder if you've got any strategies for in case people do decide to try and contest you.
I mean, like...
Τι δεν σε πέρναγα.
Can you repeat the question?
Do you have any plans?
Ironica
What are you
dollars,
going to do if someone comes and tries to contest you?
I mean, like, we're just gonna try to kill them and just, we win the game.
Before I let you go, Havoc fans here. Just one word for the Havoc fans, please, Pig.
I love you all. Είναι βάζελος. Δεν είναι βάζελος, μάγκες. Κολόγαβος.
There you have it. Pix loves you, Havoc fans. He's going to be doing it for you guys and for Poland today. Jogger à toi.
Hello everybody, bonjour tout le monde, je vais poser des questions à Tisco, Strider and Kadu. I have the first question to you. You are in top 15th, close to the top 10. How will you go into the top 10?
So, vocês estão em 15º e muito perto do top 10. Como você chega no top 10?
Tá, nós vai tentar dar o máximo, vamos trocar as estratégias, trocar as coisas que fizemos ontem, fazer de jeito diferente e tentar o nosso melhor para chegar no top 10.
So, they changed a few things on their strategy. They talked a little bit yesterday on new things that they have to do, and I think they're confident that they can make it.
And now, guys, do you have a word for your Brazilian fans?
Vocês têm algumas palavras para os seus fãs no Brasil ou na Argentina?
Pro brasileiro torçam por nós e pros argentinos que cream que hay con que querer.
So they say for the Brazilian cheer for us and for the Argentinian he's speaking directly for them.
And good luck to you. Let's go back to Frankie.
Merci, Choka. I'm here with North America Central's greatest hope, Canada, Rapid and Bolts. And look at that, Canada's done the impossible.
Κίκ που θα ανοίξεις, έχω ανοιχτό και κίκ, αδερφέ.
Πώς είναι ρε μαλάκα το παιδί.
Τσατάρα όλοι like.
I mean, you know me, we
θα
just
κάνω
playing
σερί
the
με αυτές, με τον Ταβιό
game.
Μάτς
If
μόνο
we
και...
take down France,
Α, δεν ξέρω,
I
θα δούμε.
love France, so it's unlucky, you know, we're just
Χαζόφατσα
playing a game. Let's go, come on, let's
Μπρο
get
γαμάιο,
this.
γαμάιο
We're
κάνω
locked
τώρα.
in. We're showing up for NA. We gonna win this tournament today.
I thought you were going to lose them then, Canada. Slightly, but not quite. Okay then. Bolts, you carry these guys back in the Major 3 finals. Do you feel the pressure on your shoulders to carry them to the top today?
Nah, there's no pressure on my hands. You know, I have all the evidence to back up my skill. You know, I'm always hitting max pumps. Rapid's the best IGL I've ever played with. Nada's the best support player. He's also fragging. So I already know we're going to take it home today.
All right then, Leon, please give them your energy and please show your appreciation for our next teams.
Μάκα, ο Πίτροπο δεν έχει μιλήσει ούτε μια φορά,
Δεν τον βγάζουνε σου λέω ρε, το σκηνικό, το κέικ.
Άμα να το κάνανε καν, σαν να μην έπαιζε καν ρε μαλάκα. Αυτοί που παίζει πάνε γάμο τη μάνα σας, θα τον ακούσουμε το Depressed τελειωμένο, τον bot. Και καλά παίζει 130 FPS ο άλλος επειδή είναι άχρηστος, βρήκε excuses, γάμο τη μάνα του κι αυτού.
Ναι, μαλάκα τι πήγε και είπε, γιατί άλλοι με τι παίζουμε, με 300 και αυτό.
Έχετε και καλά αυτοί δεν έχουν κρυφάρει επειδή είπε το N-word και καλά ρε. Του ρίξαν τα FPS. Γάμο τη μάνα σου.
Αδερφέ στα αρχίδια του, ξέρω εγώ. Εγώ συνέχιζα να τον λέω. Γιατί...
Για να ευχαριστούμε.
Πάντα millions μετά, πάντα sponsors, όλα. Γι' αυτό είσαι βλάκας, Ζεν.
Πώς είναι βλάκας?
Εσύ.
Δεν μιλάω πιο μόνο, θα
Σ' ακούω τους ερώτησες είσαι βλάκας ακόμα. Δεν έχεις αλλάξει, απλώς αν περάσει μια μέρα. Από πάνω.
Τώρα αντιπάθαρα. Μόνο τη μάνα σου.
Γιατί είχε η ρόλη σου ο Ζεν, μπρο?
Μάλακα τελικά η Πακιστανή είναι και χοντρία.
Τον Ντόφι μπρο αριστερά. Τον Ντόφι.
Μοιάζει με Ντόφι.
Είναι τσίραν, ρε.
Ω, Κινέζοι. Σαν εμένα.
Θα δώσω Πίτερ να τρελάθηκε να πάρει 6 στα 6. Να το πιένει σε πράγμα που βγει.
Αυτό είναι όντως. Αλλά πρέπει να λαντάρει στον Queasy.
Φαντάσου να πει Prime να τρελάθηκε σε βράδυ να μην κοιμήθηκε και να πει μαλάκα όχι. Γίνεται να νικήσει Μογαλή 6 στα 6 high kill όλα.
Πώς γίνεται ρε μαλάκα χτες ό,τι fight παίζανε ήταν τρελασφάλια.
Όχι, εγώ δεν σου λέω ότι γίνεται, ενώ ότι είναι possible ρε φίλε αν τα βγουνάρει όλα να μην πρώτος. Δεν θα γίνει, αλλά είναι possible.
Δεν είναι, ούτε 1% δεν είναι.
Σκουπίδια σε μάλακα ο Πέτρος.
Ναι, γέρασα, καλά στην ίδια.
Μπήκαν τώρα οι καινούργοι 11χρονοι μπρο. Σήμερα ήταν ένας στο map του Τσίλι 8χρονος μπρο. Έπαιζε καλύτερα για τον Τσίλι, 8 χρονών.
Στο κούτσο μας εδώ.
Επειδή γαμούσε τον Τζίτο λέει ότι έπαιζε καλύτερα με εμένα 8 χρόνος.
Ναι ρε.
Κλάσικ.
Τον γάμισα ρε. Απλά ακριβώς που τον γάμισα και γαμώ και σένα, του σύγκρινα και λέω καλύτερος τρόπος.
Τζίτο γαμώσατε με έτσι.
Αυτός γεννήθηκε όταν βγήκε το Fortnite bro. Σκέψου. Έχει μεγαλώσει μέσα στο Fortnite bro, προφανώς ήταν καλύτερος.
Have you been discussing how you're gonna overcome the situation? Are you thinking of maybe moving your drop spot?
Αδερφέ, Fortnite Ultras είναι αυτή.
Ναι, bro, δεν έχεις δει τι γίνεται.
Μα λέγα κάτι είδα στο Twitter ότι γυρίσαν πλάτη και φωνάζανε.
Ρε, σαν να σε γήπεδο είναι.
Πού να τα ξέρεις αυτά, ρε Ζελάκο εσύ. Εκεί που πας, πού να τα ξέρεις.
Να τα ξέρω όντως.
aren't here for some mediocre placement. We're going to try our best to end up top 5 at the end of the day.
Well, you won majors 1 and 3
θα
in
πάω
your
Σλοβενία
regions,
τώρα
so
κάπου,
I know
να σε
you've
δω.
got it in you. Thank you so much, guys. Let's get to Choco.
Εντάξει. Πώς
Πού να
ερώτηση.
με κείμενο Σλοβενία.
Eh bien, mesdames et messieurs, nous sommes avec iDrop, Camille et Chari. On va leur poser quelques petites questions. La première
Επειδή είναι Havoc μάλακα, το πιστεύεις?
question that comes to me, it's you're on the 9th
Έχουν όλοι
position.
χούλιγκαν
So
μέσα.
you're close to the top
Περίμενε.
5.
Ποια ομάδα έχει τους hooligans?
So
Πάνε το
Η
μαγειρώσουν
Αμέ.
και το στο τέλος.
bring your team to the top 5.
I
Yeah,
think
mate,
we just gotta
feedback
follow
is
the game plan like we did yesterday and made a couple changes. Just gotta make sure we don't have any 0-point games and just stay focused today.
And so you did
Είχα από την γαλλική.
Εν τω μεταξύ δεν ξέρω αν το είδατε, αλλά όλο αυτό το crowd που κάνει και καλά έτσι που γίνεται της Φουλτάνας και αυτά είναι μόνο σε ένα πολύ μικρό site. Όλοι οι άλλοι είναι ήρεμοι άνθρωποι κανονικοί ρε.
Yeah, I mean, I feel as confident as I can be. I
Δηλαδή
think
for
we're
sure
just
πρέπει να
gonna
πέει
do our
τάκιος
job
αυτοί. Να τους βάλουν όλους εκεί,
and
σκουμπώσαν όλοι σε ένα...
Ο άλλος λέει, μαλάκα είμαι Λιόν και βλέπω εσένα. Κατσόγλου.
Frankie, it's your time.
Merci, Choco. Please let me introduce you to my new
Εκεί
friends,
βγαίνουν τα
Sarko,
global.
Ark and
Στη Λιόν ρε
This
ηλίθεια.
is their first ever Fortnite Global
Ξέρω εγώ, ρε.
Championship, and they're
Μαλακίες
sitting
λέει.
in 12, which is incredible,
Γιατί το
boys.
κρέμεις,
How have
λες,
you
το ξέρω.
found the action so
Το
far?
ξέρεις.
it's been really fun. I'm proud. We're gonna get top 5 today and it's gonna be a beautiful experience.
Interesting. I'm loving the confidence. Where is this coming from?
Στορκίζομαι.
We're just the best fighting team here, and any trio that runs into us will always.
Ακραίο.
Okay, are you expecting teams to come running into?
Πώς μας ακούει ο άλλος τώρα και μιλάει.
Interesting. Okay, I can't wait
Τρέξε
to
στη
see
σκηνή πάνω.
you guys
Να σε δούμε.
something from the battle.
Τρέξε και κούνε το τέτοιο να. Μπείτε που κούνε το χέρια του λάθη.
I think though we need to hear some more support.
Έχουν bodyguard στο τέλος, μαλάκα, όντως με αυτά που γίνονται. Πώς είχε ο Μέση στο bodyguard του. Και πήγα να ασφάλει και μπουκάρι μέσα.
Μαλάκα είναι γεμάτο, μπρο, είναι κάβλα, μαλάκα.
Πώς είχε ο κάμπετ του bodyguard του. Μπουκάρι ο Φάνης μέσα και το καλή φωτό.
Τσίλι θα πας ποτέ σε κλόπα.
Ήταν να πάω σε αυτά.
Εντάξει, ο Μάζα έχει αδυνατήσει. Αλλά αυτός εμείς λίγο με τον Dizzy.
Το δεξιά, με τα γυαλιά.
Με γυαλί, δες το να.
Μάγκας.
Αυτός και καλά τι είναι ρε.
Ποιος Ροβένα.
Ο main, ναι, είναι.
Είναι όντως.
Ναι ρε, ξεκάθαρα.
Είναι ο Τζάιρο, όπως το λένε, μπρο.
Αφού δεν είναι πρώτος.
Εντάξει, τι σημασία έχει. Είναι ο Βίνα.
Πού είναι ο δικός μου, ρε.
Βίνο, κόψε το κάνα τσεμπούκες, μάλακα χοντρέ.
Άσος, δεν είσαι όντως βλάκας τελικά.
Από μάτα μου.
Ωμπά ρε. Πώς θα θες για να κάνεις λίγο διαφήμιση των Scream Discord server μας. Ποιος είναι αυτός ρε.
150 ευρώ μαγείς.
Γιάννης Γρυπάρης. Γιάννη μου, ευχαριστούμε για τον gift sub. Ευχαριστώ και για τα 3 ευρώ, Γιάννης, δεν ξέρω ποιος είναι αυτός. Ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ, φίλε. Μπορείς να μου στείλεις DM στο Discord.
Ο Σάβας είναι main character, μάγκες.
Είναι.
Μετά θα βγει ο Πέτερ Ποτ.
Αυτός έχει πέσει πάρα πολύ.
Νάτος. Τι κάνει 4.
5 FNCS και 6. Τσιμπούκι. Ο μπαμπάς σας. Ό,τι και να του πείτε.
Έχει άβρα να τη χάνει τώρα σήμερα.
Δεν τη χάνει ρε μαλάκα, έχει 6 FNCS. Έχει 6 FNCS, έχει 6
Δεν έχει να λέει μπρο. Να βγαίνει τουλάχιστον το 5. Να βγαίνει στην πεντάδα. Το 25 μπρο.
6 FNCS, ένα global. 6 FNCS, ένα global.
Ωραία, θα έπρεπε να βγει το 5 τουλάχιστον μπρο.
6 FNCS, ένα global.
Μαλάκα ο Ghost να πήγαινε εκεί, πιο ψηλά θα βγαίνει από αυτά.
6 FNCS, ένα global.
Έχασε το μισό άβρα μπρο, ό,τι και να μου λες, έχασε το μισό του άβρα αυτές μπρο.
6 FNCS, ένα global.
Σήμερα και τέλος μπρο.
Τρελό σκουπίδι ο Πίτερ.
Άρα ξέρετε το 25, το όχι.
What do you think of the new look, Leon? I'm starting to feel like a professional Fortnite player, but actually now I need to talk to some. Seventh place right now.
Σουίζι μέρες τα κλαίνε.
Αυτός είναι ο Ντόφι όντως, μαγιές.
Α, Σουίζι μέρες τα.
Έτσι τον φαντάζομαι τον Ντόφι, ακριβώς έτσι τον φαντάζομαι, να ξέρεις.
Έτσι είναι.
Δεν τον έχεις δει τον Ντόφι, ρε.
Δεν τον θυμάμαι καθόλου, όχι.
Αλήθεια. Ντόφι έχεις κάμερα.
Δεν έχει κάμερα αυτός. Εκεί δεν βάζει.
Βάλε λίγο κάμερα. Βάλε λίγο κάμερα ή βγαίνεις.
Κάμερα ρε, δεν έχω κάμερα.
Okay, I might give him the sunglasses to put back on. Let's let me come to you because you
Βάλε κάμερα, bro.
Βλέπεις κάμερα, όλοι οι NPCs είναι εδώ μέσα, ρε μαλάκα τώρα.
Μαλάκα.
Τίποτα, βλέπω έναν εδώ και λέω είσαι εσύ αυτός εδώ, bro.
From last year to this year.
I mean, this year we played first in Globits in the first FNCS, so we know how to win and we're going to do it today, so yeah.
Well, I have a feeling these guys are going to start to really enjoy being the villains when they prove themselves in just a few moments. But for now, let's head to Choca.
Hello back. Cette fois-ci, je suis avec Fredoxy, Pablo Wigo et Gino. Ils ont gagné la dernière partie hier soir. You won the last game yesterday. How you feel? Because you are the last one who won a game and you come back. Are you proud of yourself and are you here with a good energy?
Yeah, I mean, we finally got to get loot off spawn and hopefully we can continue today winning a game.
Ils vont continuer de gagner aujourd'hui. So, have you tried to change some things or have you moved anything in your plan, in your strategy?
Yeah, we loot of course, but I can't tell too much here.
So let's not speaking about it. Et mesdames et messieurs, la dernière question. Do you feel that the crowd is crazy in France?
No, I don't feel like they're against us, but they're definitely with their mate.
They are. Thank you very much. Let's go back to Frankie.
Thank you very much. I'm just getting visuals and grades to stand up. And Minish, please, on your feet. You're in 22nd place, okay? We can't afford to have you rest on your laurels here. What's the plan?
I'm just locking in, you know, I'm getting in the flow state.
Just like leaning back in the flight chair. Yeah, that's properly locking in. And Minish, what's the plan?
We're landing on Queasy.
Oh, landing on the hive. That's a very tricky drop spot.
We're landing on Queasy.
It's an incredibly tricky drop spot, the hive, especially when you're up against the players who are at the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, we have practiced it in the practice arena a little bit, so we should be able to do it good.
Visuals unbelievable. This is really going to happen. You're really going to drop at the hive today.
I guess you'll have to find out.
I think we will have to find out. One last time, please, Leon. Victory!
Αν λαντάρουνε στον Queasy, bro.
Let's be honest with ourselves for a moment.
Ο Queasy θα πάει πολύ grip σήμερα, θα μπορεί να κουνηθεί.
There's no way they're gonna land on Queasy, right? There's no way.
A little bit of farming going on. I'm pretty sure they did a good job of it, right? 2 minutes left to go for the game, and we'll actually see what happens. But a little bug.
Τι λένε πούτα, Peter Bot.
Kind of getting that clip in.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a bit of mind games. I don't know. It's not like they're directly contesting them on the leaderboard.
Oh, Jeep. Okay, Τζιφάρε.
You know, they're going to be trying to think about new.
Θα το πούμε μετά, bro, μετά τα globals.
Climb our way up in the standings because it's a team that we have, of course, seen throughout the year doing pretty well in NA, right?
Στείλε μου στο DM σου και θα τα κάνουμε.
Divisional cups, they haven't been performing so well, so their form coming into it, this globals is not so great. But when it comes to this stage, anything can happen. You got 6 games now. The world's your oyster.
Yeah, I love.
Σου απάντησα, θα σου απαντήσω μετά, okay?
You know, love him or hate him, Veno is a character, bro. Got the walking out ice cold with the shades on, howling out. Hey, look, Boomy. There's no French trios here, though. That's, you know, that's ice cold, Veno.
I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously, Veno kind of walking out like that, right? A lot of the trios still seeming to be in high spirits, kind of, you know, Pete reminding everybody of the FNCS wins as he comes out as well. But I think
Queasy,
those walkouts that stuck out more than all of the others, right? And it's going to be the last one, of course. The crowd giving its utmost, loudest
Ένα λεπτό για το game, boys.
of the weekend so far for Queasy, Swizzy, and Mustache, and they deserve it.
And they love it. They absolutely love it. They're playing to it. Their play style sort of panders to it as well, right? Playing that high ground play style, the way they can win games, they can have clutch moments. Even the Fraggers, of course, doing exactly what they do best, just providing highlight reel after highlight reel. They're a great team to watch. So not only, of course, they have 2 players on M8, they're also just great entertainers as a team.
Πώς θα παίρνει ο νικητής.
They absolutely love them, and for good reason.
Yeah, man, look at
150 έτσι νομίζω, bro. Είναι αρκετά.
I mean, guys, look, if we get any more victorials out of this trio today, I will lose my voice, and I feel like everyone in the stands will as well. Again, we could be looking at our new global champions. They have such a lead coming into today, and now we have to just hope whatever else is going on, that they're prepared. Maybe NA's dropped on them. I don't think so, but, you know, we just got to hope that they hold on strong.
I mean, yeah,
Πάμε να δούμε, μάγκες.
right, globals, it's been a very rare occurrence for any of our winners to have 12 good games. So far, they've had 6. If they can continue to do well, pick up those top 5s like they have done consistently so, yeah, nobody's going to be able to catch them. But like I already said, very unlikely that they won't have, you know, a bad game in the mix. And once they do, that's going to kind of open the gates for all of the other trios to kind of catch up.
I'm calling it right here. It's not crazy prediction, I'll be honest. Queasy
low game.
They're doing it. It's such a Queasy.
Θέλω να νικήσει ένα game ο Peter Bot.
Making sure they're adapting to the lobby, coming out of the gate strong. It's such a Queasy.
At least in a game.
Mustache thing to do. They're playing it so well. They might have trouble later on down the line. I think a lot more teams, as we see a lot, quite often in Fortnite tournaments, is they need to try and boost their way up in the standings for their own good. So they might try and take height. But that first game, keep an eye on them.
Okay, all right. Listen, I'm going to make a bold prediction here. I'm going to say Kanata is going to come back, win 3 more games today, because that's what he personally told me. I'm going to win 4 at LAN. So I got to believe in NA. We're making a resurgence, okay? Don't call it a comeback. We've been here.
They got another game, boys.
Everything's
Let's go.
But you heard that sound. The battle bus is ready. 6 games here. Championship Sunday. After this, we will know who the new global champions are. It's game time!
just a year in the making just to get to this global championship. 3 different majors, so much heartbreak, emotion, and passion going into this moment. An 185-point lead for Queasy, Swizzy, and Mustache. It's going to take everything that these players have just to take them down, let alone steal away that top spot.
It's always going to be a battle of mental fortitude, though, in a 2-day format, Jacob, and with the whole
Banyak Marius on con.
I'm expecting to see
Oh!
adaptations and picks.
Contested.
Already feeling a little bit of pressure. Tags applied from a distance, but this is what it's really all about. Rangers ruin for Noxie. Pablo's already down for Noxie with the sweeper. He's trying to see if he can wrap around, provide a little bit of supportive measures. Atrix is gonna fall. This could be everything right now, but Chino, he's trying to wrap around. Chino knows we might as well just finish this elimination off. We don't want to allow any kind of revive opportunity. 2 eliminations locked in, though, with Tayson having fallen to Chicho. Chicho barely standing, but it's all for Noxie, Pablo, and Chino to win it out. Now, let's see what they're really about for these end games.
And this time around, versus so many other games, they finished this fight rather quickly, minimizing the chance of any third party coming over. And you know, I know, and I think the world is on notice now. When Prodoxy is able to get off spawn, he goes on runs.
Queasy, Swizzy, and Mustache. A little bit of rumblings taking place all throughout the course of the early morning hours, and even leading into this morning inside the player practice room, you heard the possibilities. Maybe Queasy gets contested, but that's not going to be the case, at least not for Game 7. Same scenario taking place for Higgs, Iamzo, and Clicks. And keep in mind, Jacob, these guys are still well within striking range of top 5.
Yeah, 8th place basically to end the day yesterday, and it's kind of building momentum, building confidence. These guys have all played on the global stage before. They just need to go ahead and channel it. This is day 2, the last chance, 6 games. They just have to leave no regrets left on that table, just like this team here. Contested, uncontested, they made it work no matter what went their way from the Kappa Kappa factory, and now they are just a few big games away from potentially taking a second or even a first place spot, depending how Swizzy, Quizzy, and Mustache continue to perform throughout the day.
And while being uncontested is likely ideal for Seti Panzer and Yapko, it does force them to have to revisit where is our surge strategy going to come into play. They're not the only ones that have had to take those instances and just rewrite how they want to work it through. Darmdemus Picks, on the other hand, just lurking, waiting, farming, an epic whale with a dastardly plan.
Well, you said it yourself, lurking, but from one team to another, you're kind of seeing the change up of strategies. Instead of finding out over at Dystopia, it looks like Epic, Paper, and Victor V are ready to make moves. 72 points after day number 1 is a hole that they didn't even expect themselves to be in, especially to start the day. It was Victor V that stopped the momentum from building from Peter by taking him out 1v1 to save Epic Well because he was down.
It actually looks like Epic Well, Paper, and Victor V might have visited that bird a little bit too late. iDrop and Co. likely already stripped most of the metal here, and it's just the scraps.
Ο Colt σκοτώνει Braids.
Paper, Victor V,
Πού κοντεστάρουνε, bro?
they have the most primed up loadouts, so they got to be really wary of that team on Shining Span.
Just kind of
Let's go, Goats.
the risk of not being able to get loot early on, try to get
Let's go, Goats.
fight to go their way. We'll see if it does continue to work out, but Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual still spinning that wheel, landing at the outskirts, not contesting Dystopia, and quickly moving on over towards Foxy Floodgates. You know that Visuals, Braids, and Aminus typically do land over here. They're already gone position, and that team in front that they're hunting down. But from one side of the map to the next, contested fights still continue. Adapter landing good shots on the pump, forcing him back, and he's kind of separated from the rest of the team. That's going to give Adapter just a little bit of confidence to move on over. But since he doesn't know exactly where all 3 members of this trio are at, it's just a little bit too risky for him to keep that aggression up as Baka, Pars, and Pump all drop down low to that low ground just to refarm what little material.
Μαλάκα, είναι λίγο χαμηλά τα mic, μου φαίνονται. Το έχω max, μαλάκα, το sound.
Isolated, Jacob. They spend a amount of time in this position. way far east of everybody else. So now Adapter, Mansoor, they don't even have any materials. They were trying to pounce on this opportunity, but when the time to elimination isn't wrapped up nice and pretty like what we witnessed between Tayson and Prodoxy, you just get these drawn-out exchanges, and it's not necessarily going to benefit either team.
Είναι άμεσα το PC, το έχω δυναμωμένο νομίζω. Μάγκες, πάμε κάνουμε όλοι likes, δεν έχουμε κάνει by the way, να φτάσουμε 500 likes, bam bam.
They still gotta push in eventually, and they're not really going to get a whole lot off of the other party, even if one does win the fight. So Adapter, Mansoor, Balor, they spot it out. They know they can't afford to spend any more time. They need to create some space.
Yeah, and I kind of like what you said, where there's not enough resources.
Τι κάνει ο άλλος ρε πάνω.
And you got to realize, even if
Play
they
αυτό.
win this fight, especially Baka Pars and Pump, they are missing chunks of shield, a little bit of HP, so Storm Surge is not going to be much.
Τι play είναι
That
αυτό.
elimination there onto Mansoor. Not sure that he didn't get the memo that the rest of his team already rotated out, but that's a blessing in disguise.
Στο μπούτσο, bro.
Baka Pars and Pump, just a little bit of surge, but as I was saying, it's not a ton. So their job isn't done just yet. They're going to have to be predators in this lobby to try to hunt and figure out where they can start to accumulate that damage, because yesterday that was one of their weaknesses. Just like a few of the teams in this lobby, falling below that damage threshold, you kind of lose control over your own game. You have to push teams in which you normally wouldn't push.
Κάνουνε trade search με τον Pixie.
Certainly lighting up though with the chunk of Nox, and Bolts loses his shield, but based off of what we just saw inside of this Surge base, don't think that Bolts is all that pressed for it. Pixie, Vanya, Marius just taking their time. These pre-established Surge bases, you have a pretty good idea of where other teams are going to be at, so you know that you're very likely to be able to farm a few Surge tags if you just set up in advance.
Activity still going on this side of the map. It's actually going over back towards that OXR HQ. Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual continuously trying to hunt down Visuals, Braids, and Aminish. Razzle, Tay-Tay, and Rhino, they're also rotating on over from Dystopia City. And this is kind of becoming a cluster of teams trying to take this high ground position outside of the OXR HQ, which I can understand why, but you're seeing Peterbot, Cold, Ritual, and some of the other teams choose, hey, maybe this is not worth it. We still need damage elsewhere, and as long as both teams stay boxed up, there's no opportunity for said damage.
Καλησπέρα δωρεά. Και άμα θέλεις να κερδίσει, ο Quiz είναι most likely to win, boys. Τώρα ό,τι και να λέμε, εκτός κι αν λούσει γάμα τα Quiz, bro. Steven, νομίζω 4 μαζί με αυτό, bro. Νομίζω.
He's got to try and hold things down. He wants to provide a little bit of relief towards Epic Whale. They just don't have a whole lot.
Ο Πόγιο τι κάνει, bro, πέθανε.
To Curly, who's just trying to charge, see if he can run Epic down, but Reed now taking the forefront positioning. Reed
ο Πόγιο πήρε kill.
Going to be left to fall behind as Epic now scattered, but that's breathing room.
Yeah, and this is just a tough position. You're seeing both Victor B and Epic Well's loadout. They only have bandages, which is really not going to help them in this situation. No extra shields, which means Epic Well is just one away from going down. Victor B and him have to figure it out, but Benno, Vixie, and Nico, they're trying to do the same thing. Not necessarily fighting the same off spawn, even with 2 eliminations, quickly rotating away from that cannon's crossing and end up in another exchange against one of Asia's finest, Buyuriru and his whole trio. But you can see neither team going all in to end the fight quickly. There is a little bit of
Ritual έφαγε crash.
Αλλά εντάξει. So now they have the options, the choices of what to do.
Καλά κρασιά, μαγκές.
Is you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile here, and they know that they applied a good amount of damage against Marim and Buyuriru. So
πώς γίνεται μαλάκα Epic Games multi-billion company να μην βάζετε καλύτερα PC που μπορούν να έχουν, bro. Τι στην μπούτσα βλέπω. Μα αυτό λέω, πώς γίνεται να έχει 30-70 μέσα και δεν έχουν την 50-90, ξέρω εγώ, ρε μαλάκα, πλάκα μου κάνεις. Are they dumb fucks? Πολύ λίθιο μαλάκα αυτό, low key.
know they have a huge numbers advantage. And that's why Vico's playing from the top down, trying to cut off any paths, any escape through toward the top, takes a shot, reassesses the situation, knowing his teammates do have the pressure. It's going to allow him to heal just a little bit of time, just getting a good shot. Buyuriru doing the same thing. Veno's being forced back, but the numbers are just way too much for them to handle. Vico gets the last laugh on the Buyuriru.
If it had been
Πολύ καλή για αυτή, bro.
might have been a little bit more worried there, but we knew he still had Flixie and Vico to back him up, no problem. Only 52 HP remains though for Medium, and whether or not Flixie, Veno, Vico decide to stick around, they might realize there's a third party that could easily roll on over, but they found the eliminations they needed to, so now they can just look to cut off Anon in the process.
Yeah, they got that same feeling that you did. Somebody might be pushing over the fight. Might have taken way too long, drawn a lot of attention, and guess it actually has. All the way from across the ocean, OCE from that low side on the map.
Τι να πούνε ρε, ότι ο Ρίτ έφαγε κράς, θα γίνουν ξεφτύλα.
Dropping there if the zone does pull towards the top, they really have to start to figure out a way to take advantage of it. And with two teams here, Vico, Flixie, and Veno, and a solo player that they did leave behind down below, they're just kind of waiting here, getting information. They know Ager's team also lands on this side of the map, so they're trying to figure out where is the easiest possibility to get that damage.
It's just no secret. Anon was very vocal about the fact that he is not a fan of the way Surge has been working.
Είναι πολύ καυλωμένος ο Βίκο, bro. Πολύ καυλωμένος ο Βίκο, τον βλέπω.
It's the nature of the game, and it can be brutal at times, but that's exactly why we see them trying to be more proactive, trying to create those aggressive Surge instances.
Agers, Pollo, Acorn.
Flixie is the team that you want to take your chances on.
I feel like this is the team right here. Pollo, Agers, and Acorn. 10th place after day number 1, and I feel like the majority of the community had this team in their top 5, in their top 3, possibly winning the entire thing. But now, Acorn, one of the best IGLs, Pollo, one of the best fraggers in the game, and then Ager's the guy that can do it all. They're really tested throughout these 6 games, just like Cammy, Audi, iDrop, haven't left.
Τώρα είναι pipe down, ναι. Ο iDrop για αυτή.
But this fight continues to come to them from Epic Whales.
Από τον Τετέι.
They're all just trying to get as much Storm Surge's damage because they know that's the kind of currency, that's the flexibility.
Είναι πολλά άτομα τσίτο στον goal, δεν μπορώ, bro.
The zone pulls towards the north, that's something you can focus on versus everybody else.
But these kind of scrappy box fights are exactly where Asia tends to shine, and that's why we see a little bit of reservation there from iDrop, Cammy, and Hottie. They know what kind of position they're currently holding on the leaderboard. They don't want to give it up. Pollo, Agers, and Acorn, though, they just continue to take advantage of all the objectives surrounding them, even if they have to make some earlier rotations.
Ωραία, πάμε στο επόμενο game αν είναι ρε. Τώρα αν κάνω alt-tab πάλι άστα. Άστα βράστα. Βίκο παίρνει kill στον Μερέμ. Έχουν καλό loot τώρα αυτοί εδώ πέρα, bro. Δεν ξέρω αν έχουν surge, αλλά σίγουρα έχουν καλό loot. Ρίζον μέσα στα WhatsApp, το συγκεκριμένο του πυργάκι, το κλασικό.
That's something that we're really going to have to watch out for, especially if they're looking for a comeback today through elimination.
Καλά points έχουνε. Πολύ καλά points έχουνε. Μπορούν να βγουν ένα top, μέσα στο top 10 σίγουρα.
This is a big turnaround right now, though. It's only Cammy and iDrop left to duke it out up against some of Asia finest, but they're going for the double revive. It's a little bit greedy, but Tay-Tay, he's actually the only healthy member. They're going to opt for possibly trading out revives, but no, Tay-Tay recognizing I'm just too far away. Crash pad out, going for the escape, but iDrop and Cammy aren't going to be able to give pursuit, at least not right away. But there's nowhere left for him to run. Tay-Tay, he's just going to have to full-on bail.
Πιστεύεις άμα μπορεί να γουινάρει, όχι ρε, με τίποτα. Ωραίο κιλοτσάρι. Η Όμζο, Higgs, Clicks, Βανιάκ ζει ακόμα με sets μεγάλο. First base. Για να δούμε.
Kind of, I wouldn't say changing up their overall strategy, but all 3 of them as a team, they plan towards those RVs just outside of the Supernova Academy. They get as much of that brick as possible, which kind of maxes out.
Είναι πολύ low ground ρε που είστε μου.
And then they go and loot Supernova Academy.
Νάτι, Swizy, Queasy, Merstach.
Everybody hears the crowd roaring right now. Swizzy, Merstache, and Queasy, business as usual. Getting their early game storm surge, getting their early game rank ups, and then accessing the ball.
And the main thing to take note of here, Jacob, is that these guys aren't changing anything. Queasy, Swizzy, and Merstache are running this back as if we're still in day one, despite it being...
Θα πάρουνε μέταλλα από εδώ πέρα, μια χαρά είναι.
Nobody's going to force them to change their strategy. It's hard to believe that Queasy won't end up taking over hype later on.
Definitely a possibility there in first. They don't have to change up anything because nobody even looked up yesterday. But Cooper and Curly find themselves in a peculiar situation. 2v3 versus the NA West champs, Baka Pars and Pump. But Curly's doing a good job holding down his walls, holding down his defensive and fighting back, forcing the Flowberry Fizz out on the other side. The triple hill is going to get him back into action that much quicker. But they're just at the edge of zone with not far to rotate before they make their way in. That's going to give the luxury to stay a little bit longer, but a massive haymaker onto Pars. That's going to slow things down just a little bit and continue to build the confidence for Cooper and Curly.
Cooper and Curly are really having their mettle tested this
week. Σιγά μην πούνε βρε μαλάκα, Τζοϊ. Ηλίθι είναι. Ναι ρε, read behind. Σόφαρα. Κανονικά πρέπει να πεις it's 2v3 because our PC are terrible and we play in the 37 Nvidia. Πώς το μπούτσο λέγεται, GeForce. Γαμώ τη μάνα σου και τρώω με crash. Μαλάκα ξεφτύλα μπρο. Με τυλτάρει πολύ άσχημα που δεν βάζουν καλύτερα PC. Τι μισάρει ρε μαλακό άλλος adapter. Τι ήταν αυτό μπρο. What in the play?
They're almost 500 damage below the threshold. Cooper Curly, they don't
see it above μαλακά ο Cooper, respect.
Get that visual, but they will hear the shields crack if it does come down to it.
Ο Darm παίρνει kill τον Epic Whale.
Biding their time as much as possible. Time that they
δεν είναι το PC το game είναι.
They have extra shields in their loadout, but they don't have any extra HP heals. Sooner or later, they might be pushed into a situation where they have to get elimination, especially now that a whole nother duo starts to make their way in. That's Tay-Tay and his teammate, but up goes Cooper without no HP. Exactly what I said, they have to go for elimination, but Valor is at least going to be able to steal away one. That's one less chance, but Storm Surge activates, making it just a little bit easier as Cooper and Curly have to go, and they have to go now. It's a two-tick.
Nice, ρε.
If a Cooper does it, he dunks on him from above to get the siphon.
But the same can't be said for Curly. He has no siphon to profit off of just yet. They're going to have to find another elimination.
59 below. Nice.
Adapter has fallen. Cooper and Curly just continuing to make something out of it here. But Valor, that surge tick is just destroying him. The shield crack goes up yet again. He's using every single bit of healing resources he has. And it's still likely not going to be enough.
Yeah, like I said, the shield's cracked.
150 θα below, φίλε μου. Μπράβο ρε στον Valor. Που τα πετυχαίνει, αλλά θα σε βάλει below, φίλε μου. Peter Botζή, Pixie, Βανιάκ, Μάριους, Ζουν, 1000 above, πάρα πολύ καλά.
HQ. These guys have been smooth sailing so far in this game.
Marius and Pixie being the top two players for shotgun damage and moving zone says enough, Jacob. These guys have been getting fraggy, and they plan to continue their streak, especially with all the company that's starting to dogpile around them.
Ritual Pit, πουσάρουνε το Lethal Mountain ή όχι?
Όχι. 410 damage above the threshold. Slap dab in the middle of the zone as well. Cold, Ritual, and Peterbot.
Και ο Cold είναι locked in. Εντάξει, καλό loot έχουνε. Καλύτερο από χθες σίγουρα.
They know their performance yesterday was abysmal, and that's just a huge fire underneath their belt to do just that and have a good comeback. And Chino's just fighting on the other side. That's Anon all the way from OCE, but his teammates are coming in. Backup has arrived. Chino's just getting pushed back further and further. Resign's starting to feel that confidence, but there's too many players all around. For Doxy, surprising Resign's catching him off guard. Multiple players just trying to push in, but for Doxy making sure to save the day. Down goes Resign's, and up goes their chances to win this fight.
Just look at the way that Fronoxy and Chino played this box fight, though. So many separate angles opened up at once. Resigned HP just disappeared. Fronoxy and Chino still looking to try and hold things down too here, Jacob. They're fully aware of the fact that they've done enough to at least push Oshi back temporarily, but that's not to say that it has had the same effect on the counterparts directly next to where they're located.
You have that extra med kit down below, just in case. Renan, Alex, they're trying to come back for revenge.
Φρεντόξι και Gino dead,
Well played shot by Alex. He had all the power behind that one, forcing Fronoxy to try to back up and get the revive. The audio visual is coming out. Fronoxy trying to reposition. He has to let the cone go. He has to let his teammate go down. That one's quickly cleaned up, but that doesn't mean he has to stop fighting back. With 2 versus 1 in this situation, and him being slightly on the edge of zone, if not out, he has to get information that is vital to his success. And even one more team going down, he'll start to get placement points on top.
Ο Τζάπκο και ο Πάντζερ ζουνε. Ο Πίτερ που είναι ένα SP πάλι, ρε, τι γίνεται. Cold dead. Ωραία, πούστε. Τζέτζεκας. Και ο Πίτερ που dead. Ω μαλάκα, τι πατάει αυτό το... Αυτό το AR, μαλάκα, αλήθεια, bro, respect.
Exotic, which is so much damage, just tearing through those builds. But you can see it. Sony's the zone. Hold on over.
Πόγιος σκοτώνει Clicks. Και Higgs. Φρεντόξι σκοτώνει Demus. Όμα fucking Guppy. Και το Bix. Τι κάνει ο Φρεντόξι, ρε.
Teams having an easy game, Iamzo and Clicks, with one of them being down. Iamzo's trying to get him back up. They have 1 crash pad left in their inventory, 6 splashes for the HP if they need it, some Flowberry Fizz, but it is a far pull for a duo to have.
A little bit sad there for Mustache. He really wanted to see if he could get a good
Και τον Demus ο Φρεντόξι. Τι κάνει ο Φρεντόξι, bro.
Along with the Flowberry Fizz, Iamzo's immediately going to try to claim a position towards the front side, but
Σέτη σκοτώνει Κάμι. Βανιάκ σκοτώνει Φρεντόξι.
Another rotate. There is no time to stop, especially with Queasy.
Queasy μερτσά στο high ground.
That happened so fast, you blink, you might have missed it, because now there's a whole other team on top. They're getting battled out, chopped down even once, but the consistency for them to remain.
Ωραία, πούστε. Πάλι high.
It's absolutely amazing. Squizzy, Mustache, and
Pali high.
making it look easy down below.
Ritual Z somehow.
Their disposal, and this is where we know what they do. They just target out second height over and over and over. They reconnect along the way, so teams are going to have to think of something different here compared to yesterday.
Savage Chef and Reason seem like they're a little bit more intent on just trying to stake out these front side rotations. But for Clicks and Iamzo, it's likely going to be
outside
of zone play. They're going to have to find a refresh. They have hardly any materials to work with. Iamzo doing what he can to drop whatever build he can for Clicks, but there's nowhere safe to tarp out through inside of these lower layers.
Δες πώς το μπούτσο παίζουν το high ground, μαγκές.
Yapko, Panther, and Seti also in a very strong top 3 position, and they want to hold on to it, Jacob.
They don't want to let it go. They worked way too hard to get this far. To go down here in 15th place. Storm Surge still active, forcing players to fight one another. Even though they have to rotate to the zone, they're trying to keep their 3rd place spot intact. They're only 8 points behind as we stand in this game, but Mustache, Sweezy,
Ritual Z κάπως, μόνος του. Μα go Ritual.
Are trying to look up. At one point or another, maybe 2 zones ago, they were the team on high ground, but it got stolen.
Oh!
They're ready to battle it out. M8 versus M8 as Poyo's ready to take on the competition, but towards the backside of zone, they chop it all down. Queasy, he saw that one coming from a mile away.
That's exactly why they had Mustache over ahead, still looking to try and build things out here, but Swizzy blocking off Acorn so professionally. Everybody's been chopped up. They're all falling down. Agers has been eliminated.
Swizz σκοτώνει. Μαλιμπούκα Vox στο high. Swizzy πεθαίνει. Queasy σκοτώνει Πόγιο.
Only 3 of the teams in our top 5 still alive. Mustache, Queasy, they're trying to be heroes, but Queasy not only takes a big shot, he loses Swizzy across the way. Mustache has to figure out a way to reunite into the same box. They do that very, very quickly, but it's not going to matter. Queasy goes down, Mustache gets the elimination, but he's all by himself.
The family sacrifice might have been everything that they needed, though. Mustache, Tarpy like a madman, just trying to block off every possible angle. He knows there might be an opening, a teammate underneath that's just so much worse off than he currently is. But instead, it's both Kanata and Rapid. He's looking to play spoiler, but he can't get enough damage applied. Mustache still, somehow, some way, tarping through this middle layer, and nobody seems to be cutting him off just yet, but he's running out of material, and Malibuco...
Μάριος Κάος κοτώ. Βίκο.
Bing thought that he could take out Dharm in the process. Instead, he loses his own life.
Somehow, Rapid, Kanata, both all still alive on the low ground. Even with both...
No!
They got the front side of zone and a chance to get the revive. A couple eliminations being cleaned up. Vico trying to stay alive.
Το χάσαμε, κάμπε!
Still on high ground, raining and fire down from above. They get that knock on the Kanata, and you see the boat
Μαλιμπούκα winner.
out there getting ready. The inevitability, the drop down from above. It comes in. Kanata gets cleaned up. The siphon comes into play. Wax is doing damage. Malibuca is causing pain.
Wax and Malibuca, they might just be able to do it, chat.
Ωραία τους. Τι κάνει ο Μαλιμπούκα, bro. Τρελάθηκε Μαλιμπούκα coming hot. Oh, μαλάκα, goals, comeback. Ζέτζεκας. Κάποιος χωριστάω 10,
Ναι.
Εσύ έπιασες τίποτα.
Δεν τα έχω δει ακόμα όλα. Έτσι είναι.
Άλλο ένα δεκάρικο. Και το last. Έδινε καρκινιάρικα.
I don't know. We're not sure what to do on first day, but maybe we'll figure out something today.
We definitely figured something out. You managed to take the high ground.
Absolute κύματα.
Μαλάκα είναι σέρμα τώρα.
Was this something you worked on, managing to take high ground from the top spot?
Αυτός μου σκαγιατήμος που δεν πλένει ποτέ τα δόντια του.
So do you have the Americans to thank for
Γιατί
taking it
θα είναι την πόχα τώρα,
first
ρε.
and chopping the boys on top?
No, we just saw.
Just everyone. So why would you? I'm gonna actually head over to Chopper.
Wax, do you have a word for this crowd that are supporting you and your teammates?
Yeah, appreciate you guys coming out, supporting us and watching us play.
Έλα, ανεβαίνει ο Πίτερ, bro. Ανεβαίνει, τσιλί. Λίγο.
Δεν θα πάει πολύ, ρε.
Ανεβαίνει, ρε, σου λέω. Θα ανέβει full, ρε.
With an amazing victory royal, do you think you'll keep your consistency?
Yeah, of course.
Consistency.
Get some good
Αυτό πάρε η λύπη.
to win this day and come back.
Malibuca, just before I let you get ready for the next game, have you got anything you'd like to say to the gentlemates?
Might win.
Μαλάκα.
And I think they're probably going to be there for the entirety of this outbreak.
Leaderboard, ναι, όντως leaderboard. We need the leaderboard right now.
Ξέρεις ποιος είναι ο πρώτος, ναι.
Τρίτη πίξ Darm Demus, οκ. Σέτι Κάμι Τζάπκο, όχι Σέτι Τζάπκο Πάντζερ τέταρτη. Κανάντα πέμπτη, Βίκο έκτη, Παύλο Βίνγκου έβδομη. Top 12 ο Agers. Top 21 ο Peterbot. Όλοι οι άλλοι είναι random ass boys.
Όχι, είναι και ο Κογιώτα, top 30.
Ναι, δεν είναι random ο Κογιώτα, άραξε.
Έλα, στη μέση είναι ο Πίτερ που ανεβαίνει.
Θα πας copyright,
Δεν νομίζω να φάω copyright αφού είναι το official song. Πες να μην κάνει copyright όπου ήταν άζιος ο David. Το είδες στο βίντεο που έλεγε ότι ο Peter παίζει με trash PC και είχε 130 FPS. Όλοι παίζουν λογικά, ρε. Πίπες. Όντως. Οι άλλοι τρώνε κράση κακομοίριδες.
Άρα λες ότι λέει πίπες ο Peter Bot.
Ναι, λέει λίγες ότες.
Οκ.
Εντάξει, ρε μαλάκα, και εσύ αν ήσουν ο 6-time champion δεν θα έλεγες ένα excuse, ξέρω εγώ.
Όχι, θα είχα το κεφάλι κάτω και θα έλεγα ντρέπομαι. Όπως ήταν ο Πίτερ που το χθες, άμα τον έβλεπες, bro. Πόψα κλαμμένο μου ήταν ένα κλιπ. Δες TikTok, δες TikTok.
Μου στείλες TikTok.
Ναι, δες. Δες τα να βρω. Depressed as fuck.
Ο Ακύρα το ανέβασε. Άκυρο, δεν είναι αυτός ο Ακύρα.
Ποιος είναι αυτός?
Εξενερώνει ρε μαλάκα, τι, είναι winner. Λογικό ρε μαλάκα. Αλλά πως είναι έτσι.
Άμπε, πειράζει κάτι.
Εντάξει, λογικό ρε μαλάκα, είναι πόσα χιλιάρικα ρε μαλάκα, εξαιτίας των συνθηκών θα πω.
Των συνθηκών, ναι, όντως. It's all about skill. Φοράνε it's all about skill. Απλά νομίζω το ego του ανέβηκε σε σημείο που ήταν εναντίον του μετά. Το πόσο καλός νομίζω ότι είναι, νομίζω λειτουργεί πλέον εναντίον του, το πώς παίζει.
Δεν καταλαβαίνεις το game πώς πάει ρε μαλάκα, ηλίθεια. Το game δεν είναι, τα globals δεν πάνε έτσι. Άμα θες να κάτσω να σου εξηγήσω, να μιλήσουμε σοβαρά, δεν κάνει το ego, δεν είναι τίποτα. Απλά είναι triple con. Και είναι τρίος.
Γιατί πας triple con, bro?
Γιατί δεν έχει πουθενά αλλού να κάνεις contest και να έχεις κάνει practice καλό. Ξέρεις πώς θα σου πω,
να παίξει contest σε έναν που δεν έχει ρε, bro.
Ρε μαλάκα, θέλει να παίξει σε ένα POI, το οποίο να είναι win condition.
Ωραία, γιατί δεν πάει να κοντεστάρει Quizy, να παίξει απλά αυτό το contest, γιατί πρέπει να είναι triple?
Γιατί δεν. Ο Quizy το έχει πρακτισάρει από την αρχή του season, ρε μαλάκα. Ο Πίτερ δεν το έχει πρακτισάρει. Κάνει αυτό το hive. Στην αρχή ήταν να πέσει εκεί, αλλά μετά έφυγε.
Να πάει στους Πακιστανούς, ρε μαλάκα, τους άλλους. Middle East. Έχει πολλά plays, bro.
Δεν καταλαβαίνεις πάλι. Είναι το win condition plays. Καταλαβαίνεις εννοώ. Είναι το win condition. Αυτοί έτσι παίζουν. Το hive είναι win condition. Το Rangers είναι win condition. Δηλαδή ο Tayson ή ο Fredox, αν ήταν uncon, είχαν και αυτοί win condition. Εκεί που πέφτει ο τέτοιος, ο Peterbot, είναι win condition, αλλά είναι triple con.
Ναι, και έχει τόσο ego που νομίζει θα το καθαρίσει όλο.
Δεν ήταν αυτό καν. Φαντάσου δεν έχει καν ego τώρα, γιατί πέφτει out of it. Οι άλλοι έχουν ego, τα σκουπίδια, ο Epic Whale που είναι εκεί πέρα μέσα και δεν κάνουν τίποτα.
Κάνει out of it επειδή είναι scared δηλαδή.
Όχι ρε μαλάκα, απλά θέλει να κάνει κάτι καλύτερο στα globals από την τελευταία μέρα που έκανε ρε μαλάκα.
Οκ, εντάξει, μη θυμώνεις, bro.
Απλά σου εξηγώ, ηλίθιε.
Εγώ σου εξηγώ ότι είναι σκουπίδι, ρε, bro, απλά. Σκουπίδια σε, ο Πίτερ πάει. Έξι τα αρχίδια μου. 6 αρχίδια.
Τι κάθομαι και εξηγώ, ρε μαλάκα, στον Τζίτο, ρε μαλάκα.
Κάνει γαργάρες.
Μαλάκα, είσαι ο πιο βλά...
Τα του Quizy.
Καλά, εδώ ρε μαλάκα, εσύ τέτοιο, πώς το λένε. Λες ότι ο Mongrel είναι ο καλύτερος παίχτης.
Για μένα.
Παίζει και ο Ζάλο να το βάλω ένα Βιέννα με τον Mongrel να πάρει 10 kills στο Mongrel, σίγουρα.
Το γάμισες.
Χαλαρά. Το Ζάλο σου λέω, το Ζάλο. Σε ένα Βιέννα.
Γιατί ζηλεύεις, επειδή τον έχεις φάει 3 φορές λάκι και το έχεις ανεβάσει βίντεο επειδή χαιρόσουνα που τον έφαγες επειδή ήταν ο καλύτερος παίχτης. Οκ.
Δεν χαιρόμουν που τον έφαγα, τον ξεφτύλισα κιόλας, όχι τίποτα.
Οκ, και το έχεις βάλει και donation sound επειδή είσαι τόσο περήφανος.
Παλιά ήταν το όνομα, ναι, όντως. Παλιά είχε μαλάκα 100.000 άτομα, δεν είχε 100.000 άτομα, ναι ή όχι?
Ποια άτομα, πού κολλάνε τα άτομα? Εγώ θυμάμαι FNCS να είναι με το Infinity, το AR και να τους γαμάει τη μάνα όλους, bro. Αυτό δεν το έχω ξαναδεί ποτέ μου, κανείς να το κάνει. Να πέφτει κάτω εκεί με jump pad, killer aqua, χορεύει όλο στο endgame στην πουτσα του, bro. Αυτό είναι άβρα, bro.
Το πιο σπασμένο POI ήταν. Δεν ήταν καν αυτό το FNCS. Δεν ήταν καν αυτό το FNCS.
Δεν υπάρχει, ναι, ήταν άλλο, αλλά και πάλι. Σου λέω δεν υπάρχει να περάσει παίχτης από το Fortnite που να έχει πιο πολύ άβρα από το Mongrel. Κανένας, bro. Δεν το φτάνουνε, bro, το άβρα του Mongrel. Γιατί ο τύπος έχει σταματήσει και έχει ακόμα άβρα, bro.
Δεν έχει άβρα, bro.
Το έχασε όλο σε ένα event. Όλο το άβρα, bro. Όλο το άβρα το έχασε. Τα 2 τρίτα άβρα μείον.
Άκουσε με, είναι μείον άβρα ο Mongrel από τη στιγμή που έκανε comeback. Το πιστεύεις αυτό, ναι ή όχι?
Πώς το λες αυτό, bro? Δεν ξέρεις τι λες, αλλά δεν ξέρεις τι γίνεται.
Πάει NA για να κάνει qual globals, δεν κάνει qual globals. Παίζει με τον Mr. Savage, από τους καλύτερους IGL. Ο Savage έκανε quit για να μην παίξει με Mongrel και να τον πικάρει Horizon. Το πιστεύεις αυτό? Γιατί δεν θέλει να τροπάει το φίλο του.
Human Avra, το καταλαβαίνεις.
Human Avra,
είχε Avra μέσα στο Fortnite και με το που κουίταρε κράτησε την Avra του, bro, και έχει Avra ακόμα. Πες μου ποιος άλλος pro μπορεί να το κάνει αυτό το πράγμα, bro. Ποιος, ο Μπούγκα, έβγαλε 3 μοίρια, δεν πισίνα, ακόμα δεν κάνει τίποτα, μαλακά.
Ο Μπούγκα έχει Avra.
Ξαφανίστηκε ούτε καν quality δεν έκανε, μαλακά.
Μόνο που σου μιλάει, bro.
Ο Peterbot που πέφτει εδώ πέρα, μαλακά, σπυριάριζε, μαλακά, εδώ. Το έχασε όλο το Avra σε ένα event.
Καλά, εντάξει, εσύ τα λες αυτά, bro. Τσίτο. You can't lose an Avra,
κάτω σαν την πρέστρε, μαλάκα, σαν κλαμμένο μουνί, ρε μαλάκα. Μιλάμε για Avra, ρε μαλάκα.
Αυτός είναι winner, bro. Εννοείται πως θα κλαίει, ρε μαλάκα, όταν χάνει.
Ρε μαλάκα,
όταν χάνει, τι θα κάνεις,
θα λέει χαχα. Ρε μαλάκα, άμα θες να έχεις ένα στόμα από εδώ μέχρι απέναντι, πρέπει να μπορείς να το υποστηρίζεις, bro. Δεν μπορείς να μιλάς και μετά να βγαίνεις το 25, bro. Βγαίνεις τουλάχιστον το 5, bro. Top 10. Max, άντε να πω. Unlucky για τον Peterbot, βγήκε top 10. Είναι στη δεκάδα
να μην υποστηρίζει, ενώ έχει νικήσει 6 FNCS και ένα Global. Και το LAN με το άλλο το Pro EM, με τους Pro και τους Content Creators. Πες μου. Ο Mongrel έχει νικήσει ένα FNCS, ένα. Ο Peterbot έχει νικήσει 6 FNCS, ένα Global και ένα Pro EM. Τι να του πεις. Να του πεις τι. Ποιος να του πει τι.
Το Avra του Peterbot μπορεί σε μισό χρόνο να μην υπάρχει, bro. Αυτό δεν καταλαβαίνεις.
Ποιος να του πει τι,
το
ρε,
Avra
του Mongrel του
είναι lifetime. Είναι lifetime, ρε. Το καταλαβαίνεις. Το άλλο έχει lifetime Avra.
Ωραία, πάρ' του και μια πίπα όταν είναι του Mongrel.
Πάρ' του και εσύ του Peterbot με μια πίπα, μαλάκα.
Εγώ σου λέω Faxer, μαλάκα. Ο άλλος έχει ένα FNCS.
Και εγώ Fax σου λέω, ρε μαλάκα.
Τι Fax μου λες.
Ποιο FNCS, ο άλλος μαλάκα έχει κόψει μαλάκα τα δεκαπλάσια λεφτά από το streaming, ρε. Έχει Avra, ρε ο άνθρωπος, το καταλαβαίνεις. Παίζοντας Fortnite.
Πού κολλάει το streaming με το in-game τέτοιο, ρε μαλάκα που λέμε τώρα.
Μιλάμε για overall σαν παίχτης. Τι έχει δώσει σε αυτό το community. Καταλαβες. Ο Mongrel το Avra του δεν φτάνεται, bro.
Ποιο μαλάκα τι λέει ο Τσίτο, bro. Σου λέω από τη στιγμή που έκανε comeback. Εσύ γλύφε τα αρχίδια του Mongrel, μαλάκα. Από πάνω κάτω έτσι. Γλυφοκόλλη κιόλας. Ό,τι θες. Γλύψε και τον κόλλο.
Όχι, σου εξηγώ, bro, ότι ο Peter ήδη έχασε το Avra του, bro, σε ένα event. Δεν μπορείς να το καταλάβεις, bro.
Γλύψε και τον κόλλο, ρε μαλάκα, ηλίθεια. Τι να σου πω, άμα δεν του γλύψει τον κόλλο δεν έχω θέμα.
Για να γλύψει τον κόλλο από κάποιον που αξίζει να γλύψει τον κόλλο, ρε μαλάκα. Εσύ γλύψει τον κόλλο του Peter που λέει το 25, ρε μαλάκα. Στα global, ρε μαλάκα. Ενώ είναι prime, έτσι, δεν έχει κάνει καν break από τότε.
Ο Mongrel δεν είναι καν στο global, by the way. Λοιπόν, ο Τσίτο μπορεί να πιστεύει ότι ο Ρίου στην Ελλάδα ότι είναι καλύτερο στο Fortnite. Τι κάθεσαι και συζητάς, ισχύει αυτό, μαλάκα, Βλάντι. Καλά, εδώ Βλάντι πιστεύει ότι είναι καλός ο ίδιος, έτσι. Ας ξεκινήσουμε από εκεί. Μιλάω με delusion άνθρωπο. Απλά θέλω να κάνω limit test το πόσο delusionality μπορώ να αντέξω.
Αλλά ένα FNCS στο review είναι σαν 3 στο... Θα το λέμε και αυτό.
Πάρ' την πουτσα αυτή. Αυτή όντως το ξέχασα να το πω αυτό. Ο άλλος έχει νικήσει η U, μαλάκα μες στο είναι όλοι άσχετοι και πάλι γενικά FNCS. Wow, ρε μαλάκα.
Ωραία,
όμως. Οι κάνουν μαλάκα clip. Τους κάνουν clipbots είναι ρε μαλάκα στο είναι.
Ωραία, γιατί δεν μιλάς. Γιατί δεν μαθαίνεις να μιλήσω.
Λοιπόν, είπα αυτό πιθανό, πες.
Ωραία, σε ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ. Με ποιους έπαιζε τότε ο Mongrel. Ο Tayson δεν έκανε δηλαδή. Με Tayson, τον GOAT του Fortnite.
Και ο Tayson GOAT είναι ρε bro, αλλά γι' αυτό έπαιζε με τον άλλο GOAT. Και δεν έπαιζε με κανέναν άλλον. Γιατί κάτι ήξερε bro.
Ωραία μαλάκα. Ωραία μαλάκα. Ο Tayson τους έκανε free giveaway το win και μετά τους ντρόπαρε από ένα FNCS win αδερφέ. Τους ντρόπαρε από FNCS win αδερφέ. Τους ντρόπαρε ο Tayson.
Πού το ξέρεις ότι τους ντρόπαρε.
Το θυμάμαι ρε μαλάκα.
Πού ξέρεις ότι αυτή είναι αλήθεια, bro. Τι νομίζεις. Οι άλλοι κάνουν streaming career, μαλάκα. Στην πούτσα τους. Κόβανε, μαλάκα, ό,τι έκοβε το event επί 5 σε φράγκα. Το Tayson έχουν ανάγκη το bot, ρε μαλάκα. Που δεν streamer όλους, δεν έδειχνε τη φάτσα του, ρε μαλάκα. Αυτόν έχουν ανάγκη.
Εσύ μιλάς για λεφτά.
Όχι, εγώ μιλάω για overall community Fortnite, bro. Για όλο το content creation, stream, pro.
Τι μου λέει, ρε μαλάκα, όλος.
Competitive content creator. Ήταν ο Mongrel.
Δεν παλεύεσαι, bro. Δεν πας καλά.
Δεν παλεύαμε, ούτε ο Peterbot παλεύει. Χάνει κιόλας, μαλάκα.
6 FNCS, ένα global. No one can beat my goat. By the way, ο Mongrel για να φτάσει στον Peterbot πρέπει να νικήσει άλλα 5 FNCS και ένα global. Να το θυμάσαι αυτό. Όπως και
ο Peterbot για να φτάσει στο Mongrel στη ζωή πρέπει να αλλάξει ζωή. Πρέπει να το τονίσει και να ξαναγεννηθεί. Κανονικά.
For his trio. Hey, listen, do we kind of give up on the whole high ground thing? Obviously, that is our best strategy, but, you know, we're kind of have this comfortable lead to where if we kind of just played mid-ground or low ground and make sure that we pick up, you know, a decent placement every single game, we'll still hold on to the lead.
Ναι, Nexus, είμαι 25 χρονών και το χόμπι μου είναι να βλέπω Fortnite και να πηδάω τη μάνα σου. Το ξέρεις. Κέρναγε η μάνα σου ρε, όταν τη γαμούσα. Nexus, στορκίζομαι μπρο. Full. Πάρ' το και τον μπαν γιατί σε φάνα από παλιά. Σκουπίδι.
That is crazy, you know. Yeah, you have that comfortability. How do you say, look, we have to break what we
Συλλη γάματος δεν τους μπορώ, αυτούς που δεν έχουν ιδέα και μιλάνε άστα days, δεν μπορώ να μιλήσω, bro.
And start taking a look at the second page and see kind of where things are going. Wanted to highlight here Mr. Savage showing up here in this final end game, having a good game.
Αυτό μαλάκα. Άμα δεν κέρδισε εκείνα τα million από τα NFT παιχνίδι, ακόμα θα μπέγκαρε ο Mongrel να παίζουν μαζί του. Λογικά.
Άμα η γιαγιά μου είχε ερώτηση θα πατίνει, bro.
Αυτό βρε μαλάκα το είπε για καλό,
Βλάντι. Κέρδισε.
Αυτό το είπε για καλό, Βλάντι, ηλίθιε.
Δεν άκουσα το έμεινα εκεί στο πρώτο μόνο.
Αυτό το είπε για καλό, Βλάντι, ηλίθιε. Ήθελα να κάνω raise bait να δω τι θα πεις. Ηλίθιε, δεν καταλαβαίνεις καν τι λέμε, bro. Φαντάσου πόσο βλάκας είσαι.
Σου έμεινα μόνο στο πρώτο ρε, ηλίθιε, βούλωσε το.
Θέλω έναν moderator στο YouTube, μαγκές, να πατάει permaban πριν καν βλέπω ηλίθια σχόλια. Γιατί άμα βλέπω ηλίθια σχόλια θα βρίζω γάματα. Και δεν θέλω να βρίζω πια. Το αλλούν του Nexus του γαμάω τη μάνα από τότε που με βλέπει, bro. Παίζει να έχει και αδερφάκι τώρα, δεν ξέρω, δεν θυμάμαι. Αν είχα πει εγγύηση εκεί.
And they just don't move on the leaderboard, man. Yeah, it's just so tough out there.
You know what's crazy too? Think about this year, right? Mr. Savage comes in.
Family friendly stream δηλαδή. Ρε αδερφέ, δεν θέλω απλά να βρίζω, καταλάβες. Μην με κάνετε τώρα να βρίζω, ρε μάλεγα. No point.
On this performance.
I'm interested to see whether this can sort of reignite that sort of love that he has for the game, right? The grind.
Ωραία, τέλος στο stream θα κάνω ένα moderator, μάγκες. Θα βρω ένα έτσι όνομα το οποίο όντως το βλέπω πάρα πολύ καιρό στο stream.
I really hope it does. I think this is a great opportunity for them. You know, they're not doing bad. They're in 11th place. They just came off the back of a really good game. They have the firepower. We've seen them performing very well in the end game as well. Maybe this is a sort of a beam of hope.
Ωραία, θα το κάνουμε στο τέλος του stream.
We want to see him. Everyone in
Γιατί όλοι οι moderators μου έχουν φάει retire, μαλάκες.
Oh my gosh. Also, we can't forget Clips.
Γάμο τους moderators μου, γάμο τον Ζάλο, γάμο τον Ζάλο του Φεκά, γάμο. Ποιον άλλο να. Φαντάσου δεν θυμόμαι τους moderators μου, bro.
Πες μου τώρα 7 moderators, 5 moderators.
Δεν τους ξέρω ρε μαλάκα, δεν ξέρω ποιοι είναι.
Πες μου 5. Εκτός από το Βλάντι.
Ρε, ο Ζάλο να πεθάνει.
Δεν είμαι moderators.
Ο Ζάλο του Φεκάς να...
Φύλλα τον αυτός.
Ζάλος έχω τρως full, το ξέρεις.
Γιατί τελτάρες?
Δεν, απλώς σου είπα τα facts. Μαλάκα πώς είναι τα τελτάρω ενώ σου λέω ένα fact.
Ποιο?
Είσαι μπάμια ναι ή όχι?
Είμαι, αλλά αυτό που κολλάει.
Οκ. Είσαι μια μπάμια τότε. Θα μιλάς σαν μπάμια. Μπαμιάλο. Τέλος. Μην ξαναμιλήσεις, μπαμιά.
Θες να πω κι εγώ το αντίστοιχο?
Ρε, είσαι λαχανικό, το καταλαβαίνεις. Μπάμια. Μη μιλάς. Μαλάκα, ξεχάσεις τον Μπούκι. Άσε με ρε μαλάκα με τον Μπούκι. Πού είναι ο Μπούκις? Δεν έχω moderator στο YouTube ρε.
Ο Μπούκι δεν είναι moderator εδώ στο YouTube νομίζω.
Έλα Παπαλόσκης.
Maybe that's a VR and getting rally.
Βλάντι, εσύ κάτσε στο kick, ρε.
Αυτό ισχύει που λέει ο Dian, bro. Πρέπει να βάλεις χέρι στην τσέπη. Το 2025 paid work είναι το moderating. Τι νομίζεις, bro, είμαστε το 2019. Στάξ τα, πούστη.
Σκάμπτ. Και καταλαβαίνεις τι εννοώ. Συνέχισε να λες μαλακίες. Έχω ακούσει πολλά από σένα σήμερα.
I mean, the best time to do it would have been last game, but the best time is now, right? This is the time to switch things up. I think this is an important moment for the teams, right? They've had a little feel as to what the lobby's looking like, well, what teams are doing around it, which is so crucial in the surge meta. So,
Τσίλι περνάει κανείς Prime Mongrel. Μέχρι και ο Τσίδε νομίζω τον νικάει το Mongrel, μαγκές.
Εγώ θα έτρεμα άμα έπαιζα με τον Mongrel τώρα.
Εδώ τρέμεις μαζί μου.
Ποιος τρέμει, μα το σκορ σήμερα το θυμάσαι πόσο βγήκε.
Πόσο βγήκε Τσίδο?
10 Prime μαλάκα. 18 μπρο.
Πόσο? 50-20 ναι.
Εγώ σου είπα 10, σταματάμε να μετράμε. 50-30 by the way έληξε. 18 νίκησες. Για 2. Λάκι. Σαν τον Peter και εσύ, ένα downfall bro. Ξεκινάει η πτώση στην 30. Γιατί το είπα αυτό bro, αυτό είναι πολύ κακό ρε bro. Sorry. Τα 30 φτάσε prime by the way να ξέρεις.
Ρε μαλάκα, το θέμα είναι ότι Τσίτο σε κάθε game, δηλαδή και στο γόρι μου πιστεύει ότι είσαι καλός.
Τώρα κάτι καλό σου είπα, τώρα σου είπα κάτι γιατί κάνεις.
Δεν με νοιάζει ρε μαλάκα, απλά είσαι σκουπίδι ρε φίλε. Μιλάς και ακούω ένα ρομποτάκι σαν να ακούω ένα παπαγαλάκι να μιλάει, καταλάβες.
Εντάξει, απλά χιτάρεις, οκ.
Ένα παπαγάλο.
Είσαι hater. Για πάμε τώρα.
Πες του μαλάκα να μην φωνάζει, ακούγεται σε όλο το σπίτι, έχω ηχεία. Μαλάκα γάμισε το γιατζί, ο τρελός φωνάζει σαν τρελάκιας ρε, δεν πάει καλά. Ο τύπος.
Εγώ αυτό με έχεις τερμάνει στο 200 για να μ' ακούεις καλά.
Για να σ' ακούω επειδή δεν καταλαβαίνω με νοικίσια μαλάκα, ηλίθεια.
Gino bro, είναι ο Μπούγκα να ξέρεις. Το νέο ταλέντο του φωνή είναι ο Gino. Mark my words.
And that's the real issue here, Levin, because Tyson, Chicho, Atris is the most split that we've ever seen. Both of these teams, we know exactly what comes next. If they're not quick with these eliminations, if they don't clear this out fast enough, somebody else is bound to roll on over.
That one looked a bit different. We're used to seeing these guys get to scrapping straight away. Both teams getting some time to loot up.
Vino dead. Ρε μαλάκα, κάπου δεν παίξαμε επόμενο game ρε μαλάκα, μόνος σου έπαιξες.
Was trying to play aggressive and try to clean it up, but Veno just created so much distance, it made it too much of a risk. Continue to try to push it down.
Θα σου έλεγα τώρα ένα πάρ' τα αρχίδια μου, σκάμ τα 10 ευρώ, αλλά δεν θα στο λέγα, δεν θα στο πω. Τότε, άμα δεν έπαιξε ούτε εσύ κομπλέ.
Ωραία πίπα ο Μπούγκα. Στον γάμα έτσι ο Ντέισον τώρα.
Στον έφαγε ρε.
Ο Gino.
Όχι, άλλοι που σάρουνε.
And this is why these off-spawn battles between these two teams have been happening so quickly. Both teams are aware that once they take a second too long, this trio is going to roll on in and make it a nightmare again. Chino able to get away, and maybe his trio still has hope in this game, but not the start.
They're still going to have to revisit some other methods.
Ο αγαπημένος είναι αυτός, ο Τσεκ.
From those full eliminations, but Chino still bit of a mastermind play there. He knew the fail-off was the perfect moment.
Πόσο απόδοση έχει ο Gino, Καμπέ, παίξω αυτό να...
Με τέλει έναν φόλ που δεν πήρανε win, by the way, ο Quizzy. Μόνο αυτούς έχασα, Καμπέ.
Μόνο τον έχασες.
Ναι,
Περάσαν οι άλλοι,
ναι, ναι.
Είχαν δεύτερη.
Ναι, ο Βανιάκ και ο...
It doesn't look like anything really can get in these guys' way. I think they've showed their ability to still get so many points out of games, even if it's a game where hype doesn't quite go their way. One of them still able to clutch. Can anything stop them today, Taco?
And that's the thing, though, is can anything stop them? Not necessarily, but can anything catch up to them? There's nothing scarier in my mind than a wounded animal, and that's exactly
Α, ναι, 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 και το Σέτι, με τον Ντάρμι, ναι, ναι. Δεν το τσίνω. Ο Τσέκο αγαπημένος σου, Τσιμπούκι. Γιατί γελάς? Τι μου στείλες?
Gabzetta away and Scarpa having priority control right now, though, on the Queen. Bray diminished visuals. They see just how distracted Gabzetta away and Scarpa truly are. They are lurking. They are creeping up ever so steadily, perfectly concealing themselves. But this is where patience and trigger discipline really come into effect.
That's a big party.
Crazy.
A fifth party is now coming in towards the side. So even though Braid's diminishing visuals are trying to lurk and grab some eliminations, surprise attack one, they could be the ones that's happening to them. But Kadu, Tisco, Striker, instead of going for a lurk, they just immediately take the high ground. If you guys want to rotate out of Ranger's Ruin, you're going to get tagged up the entire time.
I still have no idea about a Minish's team.
Τι είναι αυτό, bro, τι γίνεται, μαλάκα. Πεθαίνει ο Φρεντόξι και ο Τέισον και πάνε όλοι οι τέτοιοι, bro.
Το βλέπουνε, λέτε, στο...
Το Killfeed, ρε.
Ρε μαλακά, δεν θα έπρεπε να υπάρχει.
While they had seemed initially so intent on getting involved, the way that they've now just put everything to a pause, surely this has got to work out for visuals.
We've got to start to think so, right? We know in this lobby the thresholds for Surge are so high. Time is such a valuable currency. The more time you spend doing nothing, the less time to have...
Bro, πες μου ότι δεν φαίνονται από πάνω, εκείνοι. Α, φαίνονται.
Oh, but yeah, I think everybody's realizing things aren't pushing. They're not happening as quick as they should. The third parties don't got their opportunity to lurk for elimination. So Striker, Kadu, Tisco, they're going to be the first ones rotating on out. But Arc School and Sauco, look, instead of going...
Ωραία, πώς θα ξεκινήσω να πέφτουν πάνω στο quiz, ρε μαλάκα. Άντε. Να δούμε λίγο σίνεμα.
Είμαι συμπαθητικός γι' αυτό.
Μαλάκα, αν ήμουν τελευταίος, στορκίζομαι ή θα πήγαιναν το φιντάριο ή θα τον κρύφαρα. Οι τελευταίοι τι κάνουν δηλαδή? Τι μπιφ ρε μαλάκα, σιγά τα αυγά. Θα έκανα τα globals πιο watchable, bro.
It's moody, bro.
Ωραία, δεν μπορεί να κοντράρει ο τελευταίος στον πρώτο. Πού θα βάλει?
Βρε ναι, σου λέω στο 50-50 spot να πάνε εκεί πέρα και να φάνε έναν-δύο, ξέρω εγώ. Και να πεθάνουνε. Αυτό είναι grift game, τελείως.
Πες να βρω. Ωραία, στη λιμόνα με το Βάνιακ, μαλάκα.
Δεν καταλαβαίνω με ποιο μου μοιάζει.
But is it okay? There's a third party, there's a fourth party, the fifth party's towards the north. Okay, we got a sixth party now joining Rangers Ruin. Honestly, when Rangers Ruin first appeared, this is the we're ready to take a triple contested fight against Prodoxy and Taste Trio. They ended up changing things up a little bit, but now they're going back to that.
Ο Colt δεν βλέπει ρε μπροστά του ρε, τι βλέπω ρε.
And now they're just trying to get damage onto anybody, and this might be a good plan for a team like Cold, Peterbot, and Ritual that had struggled.
Ήταν βάσει ο Peterbot πάλι κάνα apology tweet και καλά για το τέτοιο του, όλο AI.
Μάγκας. Πήραν kill. Πίπα. Πολύ Mickey Mouse, by the way, τα globals. Όλα είναι, όχι ρε, όσοι κάνουν search trade, ακόμα και το win του quiz είναι Mickey Mouse. Είναι Mickey Mouse ρε, δεν είναι normal game, κατάλαβες. Το trade search είναι... Όποιος το κάνει. Είναι Mickey Mouse. Οι άντρες, ας πούμε, το αντρικό ήταν το Fred Doxy 19 kill win εκεί πέρα. Παλάκα τους πάτησαν όλους W, bro, για να πάρουν το search. Καταλάβες, αυτό είναι το...
Καλύτερα να μην έχει search, να το βάλουν boosts.
Όχι, bro, αυτό θα παίζουν όλοι σαν παρθένοι. Απλά κάπως να είναι bannable αυτό που κάνουν τώρα.
Δεν θα το κάνουν.
Μπορούν να το κάνουν, μπορούν να πούνε ότι αυτό είναι bannable, να τρέιντάρεις έτσι search.
Μα γιατί είναι τρόπος, βέβαια.
Τι είναι?
Είναι τρόπος.
Τρόπος, αλλά σου λέω ότι δεν είναι αντρικό, καταλάβες, είναι...
Ναι, αλλά ποτέ δεν μπορείς να έχεις proof ότι είναι τέτοιο συνεννοημένο.
Είναι πάρα πολύ, το κατάλαβες.
Άμα το κάνεις σε κάθε
μπορεί να
game...
κάνει ρεμπρό ένα tower, μπορεί να κάνει ένα tower και να βαράει άκυρους κάτω τώρα.
Μα με αυτή τη λογική ρεμπρό θα μπορούσαν να κάνουν το ίδιο κάτω. Να κάνουν boxes και απλά να βαράνε στον άλλο. Και να μην έχεις άδεια. Δηλαδή δεν έχει διαφορά.
Όχι ρε μαλάκα,
δεν μπορεί να κάνεις proof ρε bro, αυτό δεν μπορεί να το κάνεις proof ότι είναι συνεννοημένο και καλά.
Ρε βλάκες, ένα καλό ας πούμε τέτοιο ας πούμε είναι αυτό που εννοώ εγώ, είναι ας πούμε το Sedge να μην μετράει με AR και να είναι με shotgun. Όλοι θα πάνε να παίξουν fight. Καταλάβατε τι εννοώ.
Θα γαμηθεί τελείως αυτό ρε bro.
Δεν θα γαμηθεί, αλλά αυτό είναι crazy.
Δεν θα μπορείς να πάρεις Sedge με shotgun.
Τι ακούω ρε, τι λες, πρέπει να παίξεις fight από κοντά.
Εντάξει, δεν ξέρω, δεν είναι πολύ δύσκολο πιστεύω.
Θα το φέτεις τους κάνανε.
Ναι, τους τσόμπαραν. Καλύτερο είναι έτσι, Enjoy. Καλύτερο είναι έτσι, ηλίθιε, παρά αυτό που βλέπουμε τώρα. Σου λέω πιο fun to watch είναι αυτό που λέω εγώ. Πιο fun to play είναι αυτό που παίζουν τώρα αυτοί. Λογικό. Για τον παίχτη δεν θα είναι ωραίο αυτό που θα βάλουν, αλλά θα είναι ωραίο για να το δεις.
They haven't had to move far from their actual initial drop spot. You see them saving the slurp truck down below for those extra heals.
Αλλά και Track έχουν αυτή την πουτσα τους. Είναι πολύ boring όντως ρε φίλε αυτό.
Κάθονται πάνω, βάρανε με ARs. Mickey Mouse. Κόνα το ποντίκι λίγο. Κάπε πες μου επόμενο game ή όχι, να ξέρω. Όχι τελείωσαν τα λεφτά.
Όχι, αλλά...
Okay.
Μαριέμαι να το πω.
Μ' ακούτε? Φοβάμαι μαλάκα με αυτά τα reload που κάνει να μην φάω κανένα crash μαλάκα στο ίντερνετ.
Όχι dead.
Όχι, ναι. Πώς τον μπούτσο πέθανε πάλι ο ηλίθιος.
The young Poles continue to make their mark on this lobby, but there is still plenty to do. Acorn and Aegis have plenty to do here. Foyo gonna have to be picked up.
Somewhere along the way, they might be able to find him, but if they aren't able to bring him back, it's basically an uphill battle for Acorn and Aegis. Mustache, Swizzy, and Queasy, though, they're still able to make their way towards the bunker. So Kanata, Rapid Bolts, probably thinking better, not really willing to get caught up in this instance, but maybe they choose to wait out somebody else entirely. That might be looking to shut Queasy down. There's very few teams, Levin, that can even access this vault this early on in the game. So even there, they're not they have to rotate towards that OXR HQ. They have to rotate towards the south. So for Vanya and Marius and Pixie, they're going to be able to kind of see Mustache, Swizzy, and Quizzy. If they memorize their outfits
και να καταλάβεις,
they're definitely going to get that 100%.
Αυτοί τώρα μαλάκα έχουν βρει όλα τα strats έτσι ώστε να φτάνουν στο... Παίζεις πόσα kill είχανε, 0 είχανε? 0 kill πρέπει να είχανε, και είναι alpha rank. Σκοτώνεις την Queen, πας B κτλ, κατάλαβες. Για να παίξουν τα bangers, μαλάκα, αυτό είναι άρρωστο.
Το Savage παίζει αντρικά,
εντάξει, όχι και αυτούς κάτι τέτοιο.
Αλλά αυτό το τάφε.
Ναι.
Και άμα χωρές πέφτει κάτω.
Ναι. Εδώ θα ήταν κόντο να χορέψει κάποιος.
And for someone like Chap, he's a youngin'. You know what I mean? He's still earning his stride, earning his respect, and he's doing it in such a good fashion. Their road through Major 3 to get that qualification spot and then showing up big in day one. And now they got to lurk onto Sphinx Buzz and Shadow, waiting for the countdown. 3, 2, 1, Sphinx goes down. Reason, Chap, Savage, they're ready to start this fight. That's going to get cleaned up with ease, but instead of running away, they realize with a 3v2, it's they need the points if they want to climb that leaderboard.
They're trying to be as quick as possible. They don't want to allow the opportunity for Muzz or Shadow to escape, but they're just not fast enough. Chap, Reason, Mr. Savage, they're going to have to be content with the body loot off of Sphinx alone. But Chap's still seeing if he can try and pull out a little bit more here. Good tag into Shadow's HP bar. They've got Muzz a little bit cornered, but Chap, Reason, Mr. Savage, this is all that they want. They're stuck just outside Edge's zone, and they know if they clear out Muzz and Shadow, they're going to have free rotation path with nobody left behind them.
You see Reason, his instincts are to make plays happen. You don't want to be too ambitious, don't want to give them any room to...
Savage είναι ένα SP, θα φάγεις φαγιάρα.
This is Savage taking a big chunk of damage, and that will slow things down just a moment. And again, they did well to get the first. Of course, they want even more out of this. They know these guys are going to be weak. These guys are going to be on the back foot. So they'll continue to pressure, but let's not make any mistakes.
Zone. They're kind of thinking not too many teams even hear the noise, but get Zed away and Scarf, but they definitely do, and they're moving in.
Κάμπε εκεί πέρα παίζουν όλοι άστο, bro. Δεν είναι μαλάκα. Αλλά είναι perfect το Savage τώρα. 3 kills.
Taking advantage of the man advantage, and now that puts them in a much more favorable position. Well played from Chap, Savage, and Reason.
Oh, Clicks dead.
Not the same story though for Clicks. Visuals braised and diminished since it didn't work out.
They're gonna
have to find that surge elsewhere. And unfortunately, it's only Clicks, last man standing from his team and just being absolutely battered. There's no way he's going to be able to withstand the pressure. Braids, visuals diminished, coming out on top.
Not every day you see teams carrying away that minigun just to melt through those builds. You're not going to be able to hold the box at all, but this is exactly how that fight started.
Ωραία, μαλάκα, Lurk.
He dropped a mini shed on Hate's head, and they went in and cleaned up that last elimination on the Clicks.
And you can see the frustration on Clicks' face when he went down. Such a frustrating way.
Α, το βρήκανε ο Μαλιμπούγα και ο Pinks και ο Vox. Άντε. Άντε να τους δούμε για αυτούς. Φαντάσου 6 στα 6 wins από Μαλιμπούγα και comeback και νικάει.
Έκλεισε το ζώνη και τώρα.
Saw a glimpse of Mustache just now, and this could be trouble brewing for both of these teams.
Yeah, and you know, Taco, you'll know better than anyone else commentating over this trip.
Για skills, μαλάκα. Μαζεμένα.
This game will be a big sign of whether or not these guys are really here to play in this competition, or whether it was a one-hit wonder.
Especially after that Game 7 win being in such a commanding fashion too, but that's the gameplay that we were almost expecting to see in day 1.
Καλά, ναι, σίγουρα η Mate θα πάρει όλα τα καλά spots. Είναι ακραίο αυτό που γίνεται.
In this secondary day, there might not be a point amplifier, but there's still plenty of opportunity to catch up on some positioning in the leaderboard.
Yeah, I'm always saying you got to leave no regrets behind. On such
Vanyak,
a big
Bubu.
stage like this with a huge life-changing amount of money, and I think yesterday some teams may have played.
Ω, Πόγιος σκοτώνει Μαλιμπούγα,
compared to how they played during the majors to qualify for this global championship. Being able to go back last night, VOD review, and really figure out what was going wrong. You're seeing a more aggressive pace coming out from some of these teams. Not exactly every step of the way, but when they get a key knock,
και αφήνουν και τα coin,
they're now starting to play more and more.
Τα coin στη φάση, bro.
Importantly so, more and more teams, just like Poyo, Agers, and Acorn that we see here, are willing to contest that high ground in the later portions of this game.
Gentlemates will certainly be happy to see Poyo back up and in the running, but you have to wonder, Levin, what does their surge actually look like? They seemed a bit desperate there, trying to find some additional surge streams with Agers, Acorn, and Poyo, but it's the backdrop pressure. iDrop catching Acorn completely off guard, but there's such a direct path that they have to take into zone.
Η Mate θα πάρει τις 100 από τα earnings, ναι, λογικά, άμα έχουν τέτοιο συμβόλαιο. Αλλά άμα πληρώνονται αρκετά οι παίχτες κάθε μήνα, θα πάρουν σίγουρα ένα ποσοστό.
Αυτός δεν μοιάζει λίγο με τον Pulisic, ρε μαλάκα. Ο Ντέμος.
Ναι, με τον Pulisic είπες,
Ναι.
Τον είχα κάρτα αυτόν, τον Pulisic, στο FIFA.
Gentlemates, they can hear everything surrounding
600 below, πώς γίνεται καν αυτό? Α, πέθανε ο Acorn. Ζήτζικας. Zero match. Μαλάκα, δεν καταλαβαίνω, bro. Ο Πόγιο έχει από τα καλύτερα POIs. Μάλλον δεν έχει κάποιον να κάνει search trade.
Unfortunately, it was always going to be an uphill battle for Poyo and his trio. That was a tough game, but there's still a couple more for them to get back in it. Cammy, though, now looking much better off after being able to pick up some of them cypher meds.
Yeah, and it was actually iDrop who got that initial knock and elimination onto Acorn, leaving them that far below the damage threshold. But now the zone pulling up over towards the north. This is a good zone for the majority of the lobby. There's not too many different elevation changes.
Rituals because only reason.
It's just as long as it doesn't pull towards the west. That's what the entire lobby has to be hoping for right now, including Pings, Walks, and Malibuka. From high ground victory.
Μαλάκα είναι λες και βλέπω η UFNCS είναι, bro, δεν κάνω πλάκα.
Μια φορά που παίξαμε στο EU, μαλάκα να κάνει το EU.
Ναι.
Κοπενχάγη, η EU ήταν.
Πότε είχα να παίξει Κοπενχάγη, το 23.
Α, ναι, πέρσι, όντως. Τι πέρσι, ρε, πέρσι ήταν Αμερική.
Πρόπερσι.
Πόγιο, πότε ήταν.
Πέρσι.
Όχι ρε, πήγαμε μισό χρόνο ήταν.
Ναι, πέρσι. Στην Αμερική το είχαν πάρει αυτοί.
Ναι ρε.
Α, και ο Μύρο, ναι, ο Μύρο ρε με τον Πόπερ.
Για πότε μιλάς ρε μαλάκα? Μιλάτε για πριν κάτι χρόνια.
Πριν 2 χρόνια.
Just barely pushing them above the threshold line.
Those are the fights that they strive for. Those are the fights that they are so effective in. We've seen it all year long. They'll find themselves in tough situations like that and create their way out of it.
511 damage here. Kanata, Bolts, and Rapid. They had a fantastic game number 1. Unfortunately, they weren't able to pick up that VR, like Kanata said, to start the day, but they're here again with another opportunity with Rapid and Bolts by his side. His IGL, his Fragger, that's a lot of confidence that's continuing to brew in that trio. Same here for Pickstorm and Deem. As I said, underdogs to top dogs. Levin, this team is probably one of the biggest surprises in EU, right?
Yeah, these guys have been phenomenal. We've highlighted it so much, but this is another example of a game where
δεν ήξερα καν ότι σπάνε αυτά.
excellent timings. I know when we spoke to Coach Sven, he's always talked about the preparation of these guys being so important. They understand how to play this lobby. And again, this looks like
Όπα, μαλάκα, τι είναι αυτό που την πιλτάραν, bro.
in that top 5, top 4 towards the ends.
Τι στην μπούτσα είναι αυτό, bro. Ο Σέτι πέθανε, ο Σέτι λέω, ο Quizzy. Όχι, εδώ είναι,
Όχι, απλά ακόμα δεν έχει πάρει το αυτό. Δώσε λίγο χρόνο.
Ο Πίτερ πότε κάνει εκεί πέρα κάτω, ρε. Τους έχει αρχίσει όλους.
Το αλλάξανε οι υπολογιστές.
Α, το σκότωσαν τον Πίτερ Ποτ. Μόλις μιλάω, ρε, nice. Ο Βανιάκ τον έφαγε τον Μάριο Σκάου. Ο Βανιάκ έφαγε τον Cold.
Όλα τα... Ποιος έφαγες ποιον?
Εσύ έφαγες μια τούρτα. Πάλι ζει ο Ritual.
Στάνταρ θα τους πούνε για το high.
Low-key δεν θέλουν καν high τώρα, θέλουν απλά να βγουν καλή θέση. Low ground το Quizzy.
Όσο ξέρω από το game.
Ξέρει.
Κάτω με.
Ωραία μαλάκα, δεν πάω να το
I like this from Vico though, still just out of sight, out of mind, but he might be able to make a huge play if he can.
Ο Βίκο είναι...
Elimination said no, Vico jumped on.
Μόλις μίλησες.
Το Βίκο είναι dead.
Το Βίκο είναι dead. For Venom's team, but Alex resigns. They've just got a little bit more time, a little bit of an extension here. They're gonna take the crash pad front side zone, but lower layers have already established themselves. They've got to be careful of not getting chopped out.
Pixie, Darm, Demas, waiting till the last second. Crash pad
What
to
a
the
shit
front
shot,
side of zones.
dude.
Swizzy, Mustache,
Ah,
they have the materials. They did not play for the high ground. They're okay being down low in the dirt. They know they're the most dangerous team at this event, especially if you run into them. Kanata both Raptor scrambling around, trying to heal up. The spot
Μου τις πάει ο Άλεξ, respectfully.
that Kanata has in his inventory. Up above, there's a team trying to put pressure down. You see them scrambling.
Το Bolts είναι πολύ καλός, bro, αλλά και λίγο PC.
Να τους κλείσαν έξω.
Easy to still make the commitment towards the low ground. Meanwhile, Bolts, Kanata, Rapid, just doing everything they can to try and keep themselves up and in the running here. But Aja, Cammy, they're still looking to break through. They recognize there's an opportunity here. There's a team that might be they're shooting at
Ο Σέτς κοντίνο με στάχα, όχι, όχι, όχι.
Those going to the south, they got lots to figure out. Swizzy, Queasy now as a duo. We've seen them dominate from the skies. But how good can you guys take it? Swizzy wants it, looks to chop. Pixie. Marius Vanya.
Αγχώθηκε ο Πίξι. Πέταξε το τέτοιο.
See the double pump coming out from Marius. That's not going to deal a ton of damage or even pressure.
Ο Κάμεν είναι έτσι, bro.
Down along with Pixie, staying to the backside of zone. They're making sure nobody can flank him as Bolts takes down Cammy. He is a solo champion on land before, and third parties looking to have a masterclass performance here.
Βάλτε χειμώνα. Έχεις μάτς, δεν ζηκάς.
Across that finish line, scrambling in and outside of the zone. The slurp juice just a little too late.
Βαρύ.
He just can't do it. Storm sickness.
Vox Βανιάκ τώρα. Ω! Ο Vox το πήρε το high πάλι, μόνος του.
Κάνε αυτό το αρχίδι, ρε.
Καλά κάνει, bro. Τρίο solo, Βαρύ. Σέτι πήρε win.
Yapko, they're looking strong, but can they close it out on the low ground? Demas will.
Άκου μαλάκα.
And so now, Seti, Panzer, Yapko looking to remind the rest of the competition that they are in it for the win. Watch has no more HP to hold on. The tree will be the only thing stopping it.
Πού είναι όλος, ρε. Ο Βανιάκ top 2, Άρρωστο.
Λάχος κάτι είναι ψιλοπλέσεις στο game.
Ναι, ρε. Γιατί κάνει νέους στο σέτι, ρε μαλάκα. No point.
On your feet, boys, on your feet.
Αλλά με τράψη μου.
It felt like it was just a matter of time before you got your victory royale of the 2025 Fortnite Global Championships. How did you manage to do it from the low ground?
I mean, I just have the best teammates and we have very good chemistry, so it just works.
But the chemistry has come so quickly for you guys. Yapko, coming back, we talked about it earlier, from North America to Europe. Why do you think Europe is so successful here in Lyon?
I don't know, we're just crazy.
You are crazy, absolutely.
Τι θα είναι, ρε μαλάκα, ηλίθεια.
Félicitations, congratulations for this first victory royal.
Μου να σε τσιάσουμε, ρε.
This victory is the beginning of a lot of victory, do you think? Do you think you have more victory now that you started?
Yeah, I think so.
So, how will you manage to have more victories now and to keep going on this?
I mean, we just maybe found the secret right now, so we're just gonna keep trying the same thing and gonna see how it goes.
Φάση δεν θα έχει να κάνει κράσα το εκεί, ο Σέτι την αρχή να τους βρίζει όλους.
I think you're enjoying this crowd.
Yeah, I love them. It's like a love-hate relationship now.
But I think I'm gonna leave you to enjoy them a little more because we need to take a break. We'll be back with game number 9.
Τώρα που είναι πληρωμένοι, μαλάκα, με ταμπελάκι, bro. Τους έχουν ταμπέλα για το τι.
Μαλάκα, ό,τι καλύτερο, bro, legit.
Για μέτσι εκπλήρωσε, απλά. Πολύ απλό, ρε, ούτε καν τι έπιπ.
Γκοτάγκα εδώ πέρα, 101 κάπα viewers έχει, bro.
Ce qu'il faut voir, c'est l'écart. Mertage combien? 606. Il perd un peu son avance, hein, tu vois, petit à petit. Il perd son avance, hein, petit à petit. 400.
Κάτσα του όντως εδώ πέρα. Pink Vo... Όχι. Εδώ... Sweezy Quizzy Merstach 606 points. 480 ο Βανιάκ, Σέτι 438, Pix Darm Demus 405, top 4, μαλάκα, crazy. Rapid Canada Bolts, top 5, Vico Vino Flixi 363, Pink Vox Malibuka top 7, μαλάκα, πολύ καλά. Ο Freddox δεν έχει παίξει game. Ο Peter όταν ανεβαίνει, top 18 το παλικάρι μου. Ο Poyo, ο Ager στο 12, ο Clicks στο 11, top 10 ο Mr. Savage. Οκ. Εντάξει. EU. Έναν NA έχει, μπρο. Θεέ μου. Τι στην μπούτσα. Πίτερ από τη Sneaky Golem. Τι Sneaky Golem, ρε, βράδυ, Νικησει. Τώρα βασικά δεν υπάρχει chance, μαγιές. Βασικά, άμα πάρει ένα 20 κιλο win και πεθάνει ο τέτοιος,
Πάλι πρώτος άνα, ρε, ο Κουζέ.
Το ξέρω, ρε, απλά πρέπει να πεθαίνει κάθε κοντές, καταλάβεις, τώρα 3-3 και να νικήσει ο Πίτερ από 3-3, αλλιώς δεν νικάει.
Δύσκολο. Ποιος είπε ότι θα λάνταρα πάνω του, ο Ντέμος.
Ναι, μαγκές, σιγά σιγά θα πάμε στο kick, μαγκές, να ξέρετε.
Άντε κλείσω γιατί πρέπει να πω κάτι σημαντικό, μπρο.
Οκ, θα βάλω mute και θα είσαι έξω από το call. Θα πάω σε private call μαζί με Τσίτο, στο kick. Ναι, μπρο.
Κάνα call.
Εσύ.
Το ξέρω, γι' αυτό το λέω.
Πρέπει κάποιος να κάνει κοντές στον Peter, τον Quizzy. Μαλάκα, ναι, legit. Δεν ξέρω, ρε μαλάκες, δεν ξέρω. Αλήθεια, δεν ξέρω ποιο είναι το mentality των τελευταίων, ξέρω εγώ ή κάτι. Δεν είναι ένα tweet, το είδα, ρε Σίμος. Θα κάνουν λογικά. Το ξέρουμε θα κάνουν announcement, bro. Τώρα τι announcement θα κάνουν, θα δούμε.
Next season squad.
By the way, chat, 92.287. Θέλουμε ακόμα 13 subs για να φτάσουμε 92.300. Μαλάκες, πατήστε subscribe όλοι, let's get it. W.
Levin, watching this team, zone 9, dead side rotate. Look at the congested side on the western side of that zone. Everyone was over there, and they just kind of snuck by on that dead side. And when you see a dead side rotation, that's usually earlier on in the game. But they did it zone 9, and they did it so cleanly, and they kind of avoided all the other aggression on the low ground, which allowed them to make it to the end game.
And I mean, those are the type of rotations that, you know, Seti has been synonymous with in his career, right? He's always been able to execute those, especially in late game scenarios. I think the big thing with this team is, again, they had such a strong start yesterday. A lot of people sort of would have looked at them and thought, are they going to keep it going again today? Seti showing right here, he's here to stay. He won't let that crowd affect him. And that's going to be a big thing to see them now securing a position in first place.
Man, they are moving up, dude. Yeah, I mean, 438 points. If that was all, you know, that was the top, that'd be fine. But when we look at the top, Queasy, Merstash, Sweezy, 606 points.
Τι ήταν αυτό, μαλάκα. Global δεν ήταν. Live event ήταν, τέλος πάντων. Invited only παίζει να ήταν, δεν θυμάμαι.
Keep buffering that as long as possible. Kelly, eventually that game is going to show up. And
Global ήταν,
win
δεν ξέρω.
that game, and then that's it. GG everybody else.
It's just so hard to really do anything to this trio when you look at their early and mid game and just how solid of a strategy they have. Obviously, the early game is just clean for them. They have no issues rotating into that bunker, making sure that they're getting those heals and that metal. They're able to take these early and engagements, and they just use their metal builds because they know in the bunker they're going to be able to replenish all of that, and even in a surplus, and then they rotate over. This was the first time, though, that I really saw them kind of controlling the front low ground of zone. And even in that position, when they didn't have what they needed for high ground, you see them. They're still picking up. They're still looking at high ground, potentially as a duo to steal it. Nothing can slow this duo down.
I mean, look, they're always going to give it a scout. You know, you always got to give it a look. And I mean, look, think about it. If they're not up there, they've got to be thinking whoever's up there is not as good as us, right? We're the best. So if we're not up there, maybe there's a chance for us. I mean, look, these guys, again, we've just been banging on about how good they are, but they continue to show us how dynamic they are as a trio.
That's right, man. I want to take look more at these standings.
Μπήκαμε.
Just kidding. You heard it. Game is ready. We're jumping back into all the action. Let's go.
Game 9. Οκ, γρήγορα είναι τα games σήμερα.
Στο τρίτο έχουμε διάλειμμα πάλι.
Ναι.
Just when it looked like teams would get a chance to catch up, they have another phenomenal game. Even without wins, it's looking like teams aren't able to slow down the masterclass performance of Queasy, Swizzy, and Merstad. It's almost going to take somebody or a full trio or more to take matters into their own hands.
We're still seeing a little bit more of a style, though, from Queasy's trio in terms of managing those end-game instances, and Storm Sickness has definitely played a heavy part into how they're able to manage some of these moving zones.
Bro, αυτό το offspring πάει το καλύτερο ρόλο.
What's happening with Prodoxy? Jason, this is going to be the first one knocked. Prodoxy knows, though, he can't afford to let the pressure anytime soon.
Το καλύτερο λάντο για Prodoxy, ρε άρρωστος.
He doesn't have a shotgun. He's only got this hammer assault rifle to work.
Reminder ότι δεν μπορεί να κάνει καν τριπλέτη.
Because of that initial knock and elimination, they're going to have the advantage here. Pablo can't get overhead. Jason and Chicho are scrambling. Chicho with an excellent shot, delivering straight damage towards Pablo, but it's only Jason left to try and fend for himself, and the swarm is coming after him, everything crumbling at his feet.
3v1 situation. Almost even more than that, with the bugs taking him down as well. Tayson's gonna fall, and another off-spawn victory for Ferdoxy, Chino, and Pablo. We talked about this being the team right here that will try to win it all and take matters into their own hands. But the drop spot roulette is not just for one team. Veno, Flixie, and Vico, they've had enough of Canyons crossing. They go toward the north side of the map. Balor, Adapter, Mansoor, they're the ones now getting surprised contested.
The issue for Veno, Vico, and Flixie as they
Ο Flixie είναι πάρα πολύ καλός στο game.
is that they know it's just not worth dealing with the delays of being contested as Canyons crossing. They'd rather stake their bets elsewhere. They have a very realistic chance of taking over the top 3 if they're able to actually play.
Το Βίνο το έχει τελτάρει πολύ άσχημα με τους Mate.
Σίγουρα θα τους ψάρει, να ξέρεις δίπλα είναι.
Μα έλεγα, όμως αντικειμενικά, για ποιο λόγο να αφήσεις το UXR uncontested, ρε φίλε. Δεν καταλαβαίνω, ρε μάλακα.
Even though Supernova Academy uncontested, they're sticking to the plan. They practice up to this point. They land over these, they get some chests, but most importantly, it's how quick and fast you can kind of max out your brick material. And then
το Hive, ρε φίλε, θέλει το μεταλλάκι του να το φαρμάρεις αλλού, ενώ το UXR τα έχει όλα. Βλέπουνε Havoc και κάνουνε ούμα, λαγά, για άρρωστη.
Μάλακα στο τόπιο ποιος πέφτει. Κανείς.
Ο Victor βγήκε ο Ape Well με τον Baver.
Άρα τώρα γίνω πίτρα.
Κούσαραν.
A player could possibly have. Victor B still looking to close in onto Cammy and iDrop, barreling at the walls here, and Paper directly underneath. It's a lot of pressure, and there's nowhere
Come on.
that is until Pump
Λάντσι κεφάλα. Τα λέγαμε Victor B.
directly overhead. Victor B closes off the back wall though, but he's scrambling. The fragger is down. It's all up to Epic Whale and Paper to recover this.
The
Πολύ καλό κρασόν.
Forcing that spot to roll down to Victor V, Epic, and Paper, but at least two of them are still alive. The IGL, the six-time FNCS champion, and with iDrop, Hadi, and Cammy rotating out of this, they have a chance here. It might not be a massive one, but a chance to survive. Get Victor V back into the game.
Ο Κανάδας σκοτώνει μπανιάκα.
The zone is kind of telling. It
Α,
might be
παίζει.
leaning one side to the next, but it's all about that north or south pole where these teams are going to have to rotate.
Όχι, Φρεντόξι, please, πάτα W, να είναι ωραίο το game.
Αυτοί εδώ πες να το γαμίσουν τώρα όλο το μάτσο.
Ω, με πάμε. Oi, oi, oi.
Θα το γράφω όμως πρώτο.
Ναι ρε, το ντουο μου. Το τσίλι πήγα φορά, ο Καριόλης. Τι είναι, μαλάκα, τι είναι αυτό, μπρο. Λες και βλέπω Κάμπε vs Τσίτο, ξέρω εγώ. Team.
Goofy είναι ο Τσίτο.
Ο Τσίτο είναι ο Goofy σίγουρα.
Vortex Mountain and Goofy are just farming Surge off of Queasy from a distance. So we're gonna take the battle to them. We don't want to waste any more time.
Ο Colt σκοτώνει τον Epic Whale. Κλικ σκοτώνει, δεν από Κέρλι. Κούρλι.
Peterbot, Gold, and Ritual, they're still on the move. They're still looking at third party. Any instances they can get their
Squeeze δεν από μας.
First, they've got to deal with Oceania.
Please βγάλτε τους out.
Just let Quizzy win, right?
Their major championship in Major 2. It was through aggression. It was through running.
Θέλω τα τελευταία 3 games να είναι cinema, ρε. Μπορεί να είναι cinema να πεθάνει ο Wizzy τώρα.
Άρα έχει ρε μαλάκα ο Πόγιο.
Άρα απλά σκουπίδι, οκ. Απ' το rate μαλάκα, respect.
Gets tricked a little bit. Damage continues to pour in. Sauco and Ark are feeling more and more confident with each second passes in this fight. But Ark might have bit off just a little bit more.
Clicks dead, τα λέγαμε.
48 spear left is all he has left.
Sneaky golem.
That's going to give Mountain, Goofy, and Vortex much more priority inside of the box fight. But teams are continuing to collapse around the map.
Τρελός Sneaky golem. Από Βίκο.
A little bit of a surge strategy. It comes as no real surprise that some teams are still looking to just trade knocks from their surge-based positions. But again, when teams are caught up in these close encounters, they don't have any other choice but to fight their way through. And that's exactly what School, Arc, and Salco are looking for. But they need to have commitment. Vortex, Goofy, just
τι Τζίνο σκοτώνει Acorn. Και τον μπούσανα κιόλας, έτσι. Έτσι, ομορφιά, ομορφιά. Τι κάνει ο Πόγιο, ρε.
Πώς φτάσανε αυτοί και να τους πάρουν μαλάκα το...
Το πατάτο, κύριε, πατάνε όπου θέλουν εκεί, τρέχουνε. Crashpads παντού, θα πάρουν refresh από Crashpads. Ο άλλος έχει SMG φαντάσου και δεν παίρνει AR. Απλά πατάει εκεί.
Πες να είναι πιο τρομακτική, ρε.
Ο TGNO παίζει να είναι αυτή τη στιγμή, αφού έχει πέσει ο Peterbot, να είναι ο τέτοιος, ο πιο scary fighter.
Ποιος ο?
Αυτός ο Check.
Τσέκα.
Leading into the elimination onto Poyo, it's just disastrous right now for Acorn.
Not just them though. No Savage, he was knocked. Chapter trying to get back into it, but he's gonna fall as well. Him and Reason just go down.
Πεθαίναν από το Snowy, Εντάξει. Εμείς δεν σάβαστε τσάπ και ρίζον. Μία μέρα θα βλέπετε εμένα και τον Doom τον Κάμπε εκεί. Λίγο.
Το πίνονται.
Ναι. Α, το προφερνάς αυτό που είπα λίγο, εντάξει, εκτό.
LFD, λέω.
Γιατί όμως, bro, πολύ βάρη ρε φίλε. Ο Λίον είναι day one σου ρε, με σε πιστεύει από την αρχή ρε μαλάκα.
No, I saw what happened in the feed, but now we get to see it here. Blixie down. Vico's trying to fight back. He gets the elimination onto Tate.
Πεθάνανε 2v1. Όχι, bro.
Τρολάρουν ρε μαλάκα.
Γάματα, αυτό ήταν τρόλ. Ο Κρύξ βγήκε. Τσιμπούκι μαλάκα. Βαρύ. Κοντρόλ αυτός που τους έφαγε. Καταλάβατε μαλάκες, άσχετοι. Κοντρόλερς. Καμπέ, καταλαβες. 1v2. Και κλείσε το αίμα στη μαλάκα, ο άλλος θα πάρει όλα headshot. Ναι. Αυτό που κάνουν τώρα εδώ πέρα δεν είναι ξεφτύλα ρε μαλάκα, τι είναι αυτό μπρο.
Αυτή η σέρφερ κάνουν.
Τι ξέρουνε?
Αλλά δεν μπορώ να μιλήσω, έχω πάθει ήδη. Τέτοιο κάνουν και αυτοί μαλάκα, σέρφερ.
Μαλάκα δεν έχουν καθόλου πίτρα μετά.
They don't want to be scouted out as they're soaring in off these rotations, but Pix, Darm, Demas just continue to impress. You would never believe that this is their first ever LAN experience. They have played with so much confidence throughout the entirety of this weekend. It almost feels inevitable before they find their victory royale.
See, Darm clutched 60 points as a solo, the most of any.
Γιατί Joy τι είπα ρε Ηλίδια? Είπα κάτι για τον πρώτο. Αν ήμουν πρώτος με 200 συν κάπα, θα πατούσα, μου κάνεις ερώτηση ή είπα κάτι γι' αυτό? Δεν είπα κάτι γι' αυτό.
Που λες καλά τι κάνω, ότι κάνουν τρέξει αυτοί αυτό που κάνουν οι άλλοι που κάνουν χείλο. Είναι δεύτερο.
Α. Έχω δει άλλους κι άλλους να παίζουν αλλιώς ρε φίλε. Εγώ πιστεύω ότι τους περάσει στην τελική ο Φρεντόξ, άμα συνεχίσει έτσι.
Ο Φρεντόξ άμα νικήσει και το επόμενο κομμάτι θα πατήσει πάλι W.
Αν ήμουν στο skill, Joy, δεν καταλαβαίνεις ότι αν ήμουν στο skill level π.χ. θα σου πω σε θέμα fighting του T Gino.
Είναι πολύ μακριά ο Φρεντόξ ρε μάνα.
Ναι, θα πατούσα εκεί.
310 points.
Μα κανένα άλλο, πατάει W και
και πάλι. Θα πεις 4 από εκεί είναι.
Αν είχα ομάδα σαν του Φρεντόξ ρε φίλε θα πατούσα εκεί, ναι, σίγουρα. Έτσι όπως το πατάει ο Φρεντόξ. Αλλά όλα αυτά είναι στο άμα, κατάλαβες. Αλλά καταλαβαίνω τι λες, καλά μπορεί να χάσεις, να γρυφαριστείς και να χάσεις τα λεφτά, αλλά εντάξει. Αν ήμουν σε αυτό το level ρε φίλε θα είχα λεφτά, σίγουρα. Γενικά.
Just at the edge of the zone, though. Seti's using that bush to his advantage, not even a full box.
If you don't respect the player, you've gotta respect the gameplay. Maybe Seti can win over this French audience. Maybe he can be an honorary, you know, nominee. Somebody to cheer for here, because they've really been playing lights out this weekend, Jacob. They deserve a little bit of credit for what they've been able to put up. But right now, it's all about Anon, Alex, and Resigns trying to shut down Seti, Panzer, and Yapko, they don't want to allow him to find any sort of rhythm.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, though, because you saw that stat, Yapko, with 2 different versions of the AR. He has the most damage in the lobby, making sure that they can play these games out. They can
όντως ο Σέτια τους τρελάνει γάματα, όχι δεν είναι κοντρόλ. Ο Πάντζερ είχε φάει τρελό accuse και από μένα και από όλους ότι τσιτάρει. Και ακόμα πιστεύω ότι τσιτάρει, by the way. Σπίτι του όμως. Δεν καταλαβαίνεις. Zero build, κάτι τέτοια περίεργα που λες και είχαν μαλάκα. Καλά, γενικά πολλοί από αυτούς παίζουν να τσιτάρουν σπιτάκι τους. Αλλά ξέρεις, τσιτάρεις, δεν χρειάζεται να τσιτάρεις με aim hacks κτλ. Ξέρεις, τα ESP κτλ.
Να βλέπεις που είναι οι άλλοι.
Αυτό δεν ξέρω μαλάκα, άμα είσαι καλός παίκτης γενικά. Και μέτριος να είσαι, σε κάνει 100 φορές καλύτερο, αδερφέ. Ή κάνα zone hack, το οτιδήποτε, κατάλαβες, κάτι πολύ light σε εισαγωγικά με τα aim hacks.
Position nearby that they're above the damage threshold because that's one less aggressive team that you do have to worry about. But you're seeing when it comes to our top 10, 2 more teams have went down. Still got Malibuca's team alive, 332 points. He's only 2 points down from 8th. 2 more points after that for 7th. A little bit more.
Φρεντόξη θα πάει σίγουρα top 7. Μπορεί και top 6. Τζάπκο dead. Ο βαρύ. Dead. Nice.
Άκου πως χειρότερο.
Εγώ θέλω να νικήσει ο Φρεντόξη και να τον πετάξει στο διάλο.
Αν νικήσει ο Φρεντόξη το ρόλο W, what's it with
Έλα, decides.
Δες τους μπρο.
Hooligans, ρε.
Ο Πίτερ δεν πρέπει να πέσει αυτό, ακόμα στο pass πάνε.
Δεν τον έχουν δείξει καν, τον κάνω από κομμύρι, ρε μαλάκα, αλήθεια.
Τρελός σαν το Bonfire.
Ναι ρε, σου λέω, το N-word ήταν πολύ βαρύ.
Το έπαιρε μαλάκα.
Σε κλιπ, ρε. Καλά, το έχεις το κλιπ. Δεν καταλαβαίνεις τι λέει,
Πήγα στο Hyper.
Αλλά για μένα δεν θα έπρεπε, bro. Δεν θα έπρεπε να φάει καμία σχέση. Δεν θα έπρεπε να φάει τίποτα βασικά.
Τίποτα, έτσι το γιατρό.
Τι για σένα δεν θα έκανε, Τσίντο?
Ρε φίλε, είναι σαν ένας φίλος χοντρός και να κάνετε πλάκα και να του λες χοντρέ. Προφανώς δεν το εννοείς, ρε φίλε, ρατσιστικά, ξέρω εγώ. Είναι πολύ unfair όλο αυτό το τέτοιο που φάγε. Γνώμη μου.
Δεν ξέρω ποιος το λίκαρε όμως.
Ο Hyper.
Ναι, κάποιος το λίκαρε στο Hypex όμως.
Ο Hypex το λίκαρε.
Ναι ρε, ο Hypex. Ο Φρεντόξη πέθανε, έλα ρε μαλάκα. Όχι ρε μαλάκα, Παμπλο. Γαμώ το στόμα σου, ρε.
Γράψε Πίτερ το τρε.
In the entire world, and that's Victor V's legacy. If y'all remember way back when Arkham was even still playing, Coney Crossroads, Victor V said, "This is my drop. I don't care how many championships you have.
Έχουν ζωουνάρα μαλακά ο Σέρμεν Στάχιο Κουίζι.
You're gonna have to go through me." And it's full circle. Now they're on the same team, and that confidence for Victor V is at an all-time high.
This is a much more familiar sight though for Swizzy, Queasy, and Mustache. Arguably, their best loadouts at this point of the lobby so far here today. And Mustache, Swizzy, Queasy definitely still being very conscious of what surrounds them. School Arc and Salvo not too far behind, but Yamzo and Clicks, they're forcing their way into these edges of zones, and they just don't have anything to work with. The last of their materials being expended. Yamzo
Όχι,
είναι live, ρε. Αλλά βλέπεις, είναι σαν να λες ένα φλέος χοντρέ. Decline Mind, είναι ρατσιστικό, ρε. Μου γαμίσει όλα.
Άμα ήταν μαύρο δεν θα γινόταν τίποτα. Το σπίτι που το λέει δεν τρώει.
Δεν είναι και καλά με μαύρο.
Κούρασε η ατζέντα αυτή τσιτώ. Όταν είναι πάμε πάλι στο κοντρόλ εδώ. Πάρα να τα σέντεξ. Μόνο ένας κοντρόλ είναι.
Όχι ρε, πολύ είναι. Ορί, το Παμ, κάτι Κινέζοι, Ιαπώνες τέλος πάντων. Από το EU δεν θυμάμαι κάποιον. Ο Ντέμους νομίζω, όχι δεν είναι ο Ντέμους. Ποιος είναι ο Ντέμους.
They want to see if they can make a play, just to switch slightly higher up onto the elevation, utilize some of this natural map terrain, but they're still holding teams back. They don't want anybody rotating through them.
Οι άλλοι κάνουν ου όταν δείχνουν τον Voxer, μαλάκα να παίζει μαζί με τον Μαλιμπούκα και τον Binks.
Separate angle hold there too, but right now they've got a little bit more time. It's the calm before the storm.
I think that's a little bit of an understatement, the way some of these games have been going on, especially today, where more and more teams are realizing the position that they are in on that leaderboard. They're realizing one of the only ways to come back is actually contesting that high.
Καλά, για τον Bing Joy έχουμε ένα clip. Τώρα δεν θυμάμαι σε ποιον το έκανε, σε μένα ή στον Lunar. Δεν θυμάμαι. Που είναι 100% cheating, αλλά τέλος πάντων.
Ο πρόλεπτο που θα κάνει τέτοια.
Ο PG. Και δεν το έχουν δείξει ούτε λίγο. Πόπο μαλάκα, crazy. Μαλάκα.
A little bit of a look back into what went down with Brazil. Phaser actually winning out, getting a good knock onto Cooper. And that's going to leave a very difficult entry point for Southwell Arc and School. They're not even going to be able to push through. Just completely forced back. The interruption so steep, but up on height. Watts, he's been never had a chance to He's going to have to depend on Malabuka to get him back to safety, but they're going to have to forfeit height here, Jacob. Another team bound to try and jump immediately onto them, but Ping, Malabuka, somehow brought back without much of a challenge.
Ο Max Pool όμως. Ζήτζικας. Και below.
It's not just Surge, it's active Surge on top of that. Alex and On resigned, they're trying to rotate away. They get some shots, but they're still 160 below. Every 7 or so seconds, 25 damage pours out, and you don't get knocked. You get straight eliminated. Crash Pad, Flowberry Fizz, they're doing what they can to rotate.
Θα πουσάρουν. Nice.
It's Quizzy, it's for Stash on the other side. M8 versus M8. Malabuka has no choice. 128 below the damage threshold.
Γάμισαν τον Quizzy για το Switch, αδερφέ.
Όχο τους.
Ο Πίτερ πότε πάει για το Switch. Nice.
In first place, Malabuka, Walks, Ping, still underneath that surge threshold. They're trying, they're so desperate. Everybody around them knows it too. They're not trying to...
Ψόβα, αλήθεια, bro. Θα είναι fun to watch. Top 3 eliminated. Ας ψοφίσει και το top 1. Αλλά μετά ποιος να πάει κοντά. Γάμο το... ο Βανιάκ.
Lobby, and that means a new team is able to claim that high ground. Pixie, Vanya, and Marius. Last time we seen them on this high ground, they weren't able to convert. But this is a second chance for them. And this is a big chance because we're still in the top 15. They have no eliminations from Easy. They only have 2 placements versus placement points. This is how you close the gap.
They're certain to have seen what that elimination feed looks like though, but Demus, Darm, Pix...
Μαλάκα, ο Demus, Darm και ο Pix θα βγουν top 5 τουλάχιστον. Μη σου πω και παραπάνω, μόνο low ground, μόνο low ground. Σε κάθε game έτσι παίζουν, μόνο low ground, δεν παίζουν κάτι άλλο. Να κλατσάρει λίγα points θέλετε.
Yeah, he's kind of waiting. waiting for the zone to force him out.
Ζιο Πίτη πέθανε.
Teams bypass him on this rotation and hopefully try to get some sort of a sneak attack. Peter Cold and Ritual still alive in this game as well, but their material count. A lot of the teams being high ground to the pressure that they keep pouring down, but at least they're 134 above the damage threshold. When it comes to
Low key το Ritual τον έχουν για δεν ξέρω γιατί τον έχουν το Ritual.
Pixie from up above getting another knock onto Koyota. Alex cleans that one up, so Luke going on over to him, but they're just pressuring.
Έπρεπε να είναι Πόγιο, Cold και Pit. Τσατάρα πάτησε like όλοι, να φτάσουμε 500 plus likes. Δες εδώ τι έχει ο άλλος ρε, έχει 3 feeds ο Darm.
Όλα τα έχει χαλάσει, πώς έχει χαλάσει, Golden. Από τον M-Star.
Δεν τσίκας, όσοι, Παναγία, τι κάνετε.
Το Βανιάκ μου είναι
Peter was dead, Παναγία.
Opportunity, Marius, Pixie, and Vanya could go all the way.
Without Acorn or Queasy in the lobby, we knew Height was probably going to default to Vanya instead, but darn, Themis, Pix,
At least φτάνουνε κοντά μαλάκα Βανιά και τέτοιος.
still looking to bring this one home. Kanata as a solo, Marius with another elimination, just carrying all of the resources back to his Tarper. Vanya down to his final couple of builds, but thanks to that refresh, a little bit further, he can extend that Height take. Pixie thought he could maybe drop. He's got Marius right next to him. They're causing so much catastrophe, but Pixstar and Demons, that's a fight they might be willing to take.
I could count on one hand.
Λίντα, ευχαριστούμε πολύ. On my mama life if me and duo we win the shit, εννοείται χολάς. Τι εννοείς bro, εμείς θα ήμασταν μόνο high ground bro. Αλλά sky base type shit. Όπα ρε. Τι τους έκανε μαλάκα ο King bro.
Trios left in this lobby, but I spoke too soon. Darm goes down. They have to get the revive. They're the only team on the low ground in the zone.
Sphinx and Shadow, they don't have a chance. They can't push through. They know.
Κάνει πολύ καλό έτσι ελοπουτάνα σε αυτό εδώ πέρα ο Fix.
That's a big shot. That's all that they needed. Last man standing on high. Pig still trying to see where's this last player. He's looking to chop out Phaser. Whether or not Phaser.
Δεν του μιλάς πολύ του τώρα, έχει κουμπώσει όλα.
Will he fall before he gets the chance? He was hoping somebody else would deal with Poland, but Pix and Demas, this is it.
Όμι G bro. Pix, Demus, Darm. Ο Χριστός και η μάνα του bro. Τα underdogs.
I don't know what their secret is, but I have to say, all year in Europe, we've been looking at Pix, Darm, and Demas. This trio that seemingly came out of nowhere and have been impressing us ever since. I mean, this has been just an incredible event for you so far, Darm.
Yeah, it was incredible, to be honest. Like, I mean, it's our first globals and we played this good. It's crazy.
And tell me how you've worked on your game through the year, because when we first saw you competing in Major 1 as a trio, you were so aggressive, and now you know how to not over-aggress, you know how to play the game right through to its end. What have you learned along the way?
I mean, we worked with our coach Sven, so like we learned a lot and what to do and what to not do.
But he's taught you very well.
I have a huge question, but just before, je crois que Avoc a beaucoup de fans ici, faites du bruit!
Είναι όλοι αυτοί ρε μαλάκα.
Do you have a word for them?
I love you all, thank you for support.
Merci beaucoup pour le soutien, ils vous adorent! Faites encore du bruit pour leur trio!
Demas, playing in Majors online is one thing, but how do you manage to achieve this success on LAN?
We played the game actually like the best as we can, like, and we just won it.
Do you think you can go even further and do the back-to-back?
I'm sorry?
Do you think you can win the next game too?
We see in 20 minutes, no?
We will see. You're going to have a bit of a break and a well-deserved one. Please, Leon, Havoc fans, show appreciation. Pitstorm and Divas! We have to take a bit of a break, but don't go anywhere, because in a few minutes, we're going to assess what we've seen so far.
Τώρα, μου έχει βαγκάρει μαλάκα το ποντίκι, θέλω να τα σπάσω όλα, τέλος πάντων. Λοιπόν, τώρα πάμε στο kick, είμαστε ήδη live, σας περιμένω εκεί πέρα. Chili's SB. Όλοι στο kick για να δούμε τα υπόλοιπα 3 games και να δούμε ποιοι είναι οι νικητές. Λοιπόν, Chili's SB στο kick, στιγμή από το YouTube. Φτιάχτε account, είναι πάρα πολύ εύκολο. Μπείτε όλοι στο kick. Τα λέμε εκεί πέρα, μάγκες. Είμαστε ήδη εδώ πέρα, boys. Το βλέπετε και εσείς οι ίδιοι. Μάριος, Απέθαντος, Καρανίκ, Στακ, Γιάννης, Τσούμπα, Μάτσκλιν, Κουλουπού, Πάνος Σκουρ, Μίστερ Γαμάτος, Μπιλάρας, Μάνος, Τσίτζας, Τζίμαρος, Λιόπουλος, Χρήστος και Καλίνας πέρα ανάρχοντες, κυρίες και κύριοι. Λοιπόν, γαμώ το κόλλο τέτοιο, ωραία. Ωραία. Γαμώ τη ροδέλα μου, ρε. Λοιπόν, τώρα, τα λέμε YouTube. Μπείτε όλοι στο kick αυτή τη στιγμή. Σας αγαπώ όλους YouTube.